sort of evil Justice League.
And
Okay.
here we are, kids.
But are they called the Injustice League?
I believe so.
Ah,
Yes, this is the open chat, and with me is the wonderful, the. What is my usual line? I forget what it is.
oh, I don't know. It might be time to shake it up with something new.
It might be. I mean, I'm shaking everything up anyway because this is Tuesday, not Wednesday. But we're back in the original day. And no, we're not. We're not living here. No, I just got it wrong. But this is the one, the only brilliant and beautiful Kate Farbionic Dance. Hello, dear. How are you, honey?
I'm all right, I suppose. Maybe a little hungry. I should have eaten before the show, but I didn't know we were having one.
Yeah, that's my screw up here. The cat should have reminded me that this was not the right day to do it. But
Right.
yeah.
Actually, I did with the pandemic and working from home and all that nonsense. I so easily lose track of what the hell day it is.
There you go.
In fact, if it weren't for the various live streams I'm in, I probably would have no idea what day of the week it is.
Oh, okay. So let's see. I'm on movie night, so it must be Saturday, right, or something like that.
So that sort of thing, yeah, yeah. That's the only way I know what the hell day of the week is. I haven't had live television in a very, very, very long time. I used to use that for knowing what the hell day of the week it was, but
Okay, yeah.
not so much anymore.
And just look at that
My.
little number on the bottom of right of my screen.
Okay, yeah. That works. And then, of
Oh,
course, just chiming in right here is the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Mage Grey Wolf. Hello, honey.
hey,
Yay. Becoming a
watching
fixture
this.
here.
Let's see, I'm there. You're there, I'm guessing. So we got two people watching.
But I
Yeah.
do not have the stream up, so
Okay, so I guess
Last
we
I
do.
saw, there were two. Yeah, honey. Grudge. I screwed up, and yeah, I started everything up on a Tuesday instead of waiting until the Wednesday when we're supposed to run. Oh well.
Well, looking it up, the Injustice League are basically just the villains of the Justice League banding together.
oh. Well, then that just doesn't seem right. I think we should have, like, evil Superman, evil Batman, evil Wonder Woman in the Injustice League. Because if it's a backward Earth and they're in the Justice League, it only makes sense.
Yeah, though they have done that before with where they have a corrupted Justice League.
But did
But
they call it the Injustice League?
let's see if maybe Owlman might be a good one to look up. That
Did you just say Owl Man?
yeah, he was a bad guy version of Batman.
Oh.
Or,
Oh, how strange.
or what am I
Okay,
thinking?
I
Or
was
am I
just
thinking
picturing
of?
like a Batman who is evil, but Owlman. Okay.
Yeah, okay, here we are. Oh man,
Huh.
member of the crime syndicate.
I don't know.
Well,
It's like sometimes I wonder about the names that the bad guys give themselves, especially when they want to seem respectable. It's like, I mean, how many people are going to be doing business with, I don't know, Venom Incorporated or something? Just uh, I don't know, Skull and Crossbones Inc. It's like someone somewhere might be going, now, hey, these don't sound like the best guys in the world. It's like, wasn't there a line in one of the Transformers movies? I think I've only seen a clip of it where the guy goes, of course they're the bad guys. They have Decepticon, right? And their deception is in their name. What are you expecting?
I think
You
they did
know?
do that for a line. I think I
Yeah,
remember that line.
yeah, it's like so many times these hapless humans will start doing business with people that are clearly the baddies, and yet somehow it escapes them that maybe this is the wrong move for their career.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like that.
this is interesting. Grudge says, I had a pregnancy scare recently. Been on HRT since February. Yeah, I thought that shut that stuff off. No. Whoops.
Huh. Well, wait, but wouldn't it being shut off be a pregnancy scare?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, let's put it this way. If it stops, you got to start wondering, hey, why?
Okay, then, yeah, okay.
You know,
I
if it
got
didn't
you.
stop, there wouldn't be a pregnancy scare now, would there?
Yeah,
If
maybe
you're like,
not.
oh, yep, there it is, Aunt Flo, clearly not with child.
Moo.
So I would imagine it's only the stopping that would make someone go, uh-oh.
Because I thought that the guys who got pregnant had to stop the testosterone, and I knew nothing of grudge doing that.
Well, I didn't, not my area, that part. I don't know.
Why? I know.
Like I've watched those like videos and heard stories and stuff about trans dudes getting preggers, but I didn't really pay attention to the details.
Yeah, I know that
Not
feeling.
really, and I was just like, huh, that's interesting.
I don't. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
poo poo about that side of the
So
coin.
not my area, that part.
I mean, I know little enough about my side of the coin, let alone the other one.
Hmm.
But
I just know that I have no intention whatsoever of using my reproductive organs as anything other than I don't know, a theme park.
okay, okay.
I mean, let's face it, it is kind of fun. Some of the stuff you can do with those bets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh gosh, what time is it?
Yeah, it is about that time. Let's see. My
No, you got an hour before I feed you, Columbia.
my Windows clock says 11:08 p.m. And then you look through the window and the sun is still out.
Well, what I can tell you is that it's not time for me to be feeding the cat, but she is starting to bitch an hour early.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, is there cat saving time? Is that it?
No, she just wants me to feed her earlier. The thing is, I gave in once, and now they're being fed at 5 instead of 6. But she really clearly wants to be fed even earlier than that. And I have a feeling that if I keep complying, she will be getting 2 breakfasts before long.
There you go.
But what
And
about
I
second
am
breakfast?
saying no.
And the Levensies.
Yeah, those
Right,
would work.
yes.
That's what I've got to do. I've got to pick. I got to pick that back up. I started reading it maybe last year sometime, and with all the stuff going on, I put it down, and I haven't picked it back up.
I found both Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit to be utterly interminable. Like I picked up The Hobbit recently after watching the movie and really enjoying it. I don't know why people hate that movie so much, or well, trilogy, whatever. I really enjoyed them. But the book, oh my gosh, I could not get through it. It was so bad. It just, oh.
I could do without the Legolas scenes in The Hobbit.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Well, I mean, when I watched the movie, I hadn't read the book for decades, so it didn't even like it occurred to me. Gee, I didn't really remember this character very well, but then I have watched Lord of the Rings. I don't remember anything, so like I accepted his presence, even though I was mildly suspicious of it.
No, it's not even just that he was inserted, not in the book, but this wasn't a very good scene.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. I think what I enjoyed about The Hobbit more than like why I preferred it to Lord of the Rings, is just the tone. The tone of it was a lot less grim. You know, it felt more like it was made for someone like me who, wants their entertainment to be a bit more on the escapism level rather than, oh, look how realistic this fiction is. And sure, some of the CGI was kind of janky, but I still just enjoyed the experience of watching it so much more.
Okay, okay.
I mean, hell, by the end of the third Lord of the Rings movie, I was kind of depressed It's not a very fun conclusion. It's not really a very fun movie at all. It's a lot of death, a lot of like just hardship, and by the end of it, no one's really all that happy.
It's 12 hours of people walking places.
Ugh. But whereas The Hobbit had a certain amount of, I don't know, heart. And I think that's what I responded to. I think that's what I liked about it is just, well, what do I keep saying? I feel like I could hang out with these characters. I feel like I could make friends with these characters. That's what keeps me coming back to a movie, a franchise, a show, whatever.
I didn't think The Hobbit was as bad as people make it out to be.
I don't get it. I mean, there were some things in it where I was just like, really? But for the most part, I thought it was pretty good. And I mean, let's face it, how many movies don't make me go, really, at least at one point?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, okay, there was one movie that came awfully close. It's called Extraterrestrial. No, not E.T., the Extraterrestrial. And it's like a horror movie about, the abducting, anal probing, cattle mutilating, crop circling aliens. And like, it's actually absolutely terrifying. I mean, terrifying. The whole movie is scary as fuck, right up until the last like 5, 10, 15 seconds of the movie. And I do mean seconds, where it turns itself into a huge joke, a huge parody on purpose. And like I could explain it, it would be, actually, it wouldn't be that much of a spoiler, come to think of it. If you can forget about that part and just watch the rest of the movie for what it was supposed to be, basically it makes reference to the X-Files in a really goofy, silly, satirical kind of way.
Oh, my word.
At the end of the movie. And it's literally just a couple of seconds worth. But when I saw that couple of seconds, like I had spent the whole movie just on edge, gritting my teeth, biting my nails, just like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. And then at the end of it, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, seriously, like shook windows a street away, my protest.
Oh.
I have done, and I've been trying to learn how to write in the past few years, and that has changed some of my perspective on storytelling.
Yeah.
Just having a new appreciation for how things are written, how the story is constructed, and all that. So I've gone back and rewatched stuff I didn't like, and actually found I enjoyed it then.
Well, for me at least, I think that's a sign of a bad story. If you have to know something about how it's built to enjoy it, I mean, that's one of the things I don't like about, say, like Shakespeare and so-called great classic literature, is you kind of gotta be a snob to like it. It doesn't have broad appeal. And I think that unless what you've built has broad appeal, you've built it wrong.
Yeah, I remember
Well,
my dad-
I mean, okay, I take that back. Unless it has appeal to people even outside its niche, it's built badly. Like, I mean, take for example, okay, the movie 10 Things I Hate About You is a high school retelling of Taming of the Shrew. And it's accessible to today's audiences in ways Shakespeare isn't.
Though you don't want to just pander to the lowest common denominator either.
True. But at the same time, you kind of have to a little. I mean, like, there's a difference between pandering to the lowest common denominator and talking down to people.
Yeah,
You
okay.
see what I'm saying?
Sort of.
I mean, one of the things I like to do with my writing, especially like when I'm writing sci-fi, is to at least assume a little bit of knowledge on the part of the audience. Like watching The Big Bang Theory, for example, sometimes they talk about something like, say, Schrodinger's cat. They'd have to like basically explain it for the audience in a way that was supposed to sound organic to the characters who didn't understand it, but they're really talking to the audience because they expect the audience to not understand it. I'm not doing that. I'm just assuming people know what the hell Schrodinger's cat means.
Okay. I
You
don't
know,
know
that
how many
kind of
people
thing.
really do know.
What?
I don't know how many people really do know, to tell you the truth.
Well, probably more than we suspect.
People would at least understand the reference, I think.
Well, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of the time the TV writers, the script writers decide they need to mansplain, and it gets annoying after a while.
So they dumb it down to an excess.
Well, one of the things I really liked about the new Dune movie was how organically they told the audience about Arrakis, about the whole scene. They managed to set the scene in a very organic way, where it's like the main character was learning along with the audience, but was doing it in a way where it felt like someone who was actually doing something. It didn't feel like exposition.
Speaking about new movies, I've been hearing early reviews of Top Gun are pretty good.
Yeah, I need to see that. I keep like not going to the movies just physically. I mean, between COVID and transportation, et cetera, it's been annoying to go.
Yeah, I've been kind of staying away from movies. Using
But I
theaters.
want to see that one because, you know, I'm an 80s kid and I love the original, and I keep getting told that this one is a worthy successor. Then again, I was told that about Ghostbusters Afterlife, so who knows?
I like Ghostbusters Afterlife. I mean, then again, I'm the person that was made for, so
Yeah, I should have been the person it was made for, so. I mean, I don't get why Hollywood thinks that they can just repackage something for the next generation. You know, it's like it was popular for a reason, and if you don't try to recapture that reason, if you just try to update it without remembering why it was popular in the first place, you're just gonna fuck it up.
I don't know. I didn't feel like it got fucked up to me.
I felt like they tried to do a lot of cheap callbacks to what went before
Yeah,
without
they did
actually
that.
creating anything new.
I don't know. I thought they had some new
I
stuff
feel
in there.
like they recycled the entire plot from the first movie.
I don't know about that. Maybe not
Mm,
entirely. So, some of it, yes. I do see where you're coming from.
Well, let's just say too much of it, way too much of it, to the point where I like maybe a third of the way through went, they're not doing what I think they're doing, are they? And then, you know, about halfway through, I'm like, oh yeah, this is just the first movie all over again, but in the sticks with kids. And sure
Whoa.
enough, that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, Jackson, I haven't seen any of the Dunes. I was determined that I was going to read the book before I saw the film. That was 30 years ago, and I never finished the book.
It's also a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. If you read the book first, you go into the movie with expectations, and they will not be met.
Okay, then.
So, I mean, like, seriously, I can't tell you how many times I've gone into, like a movie based on a book, expecting to see the book on screen and been very, very, very disappointed.
Okay, because I was doing what I was doing because I thought there were going to be references I was going to need to know, but no, huh?
Oh, no. There are references you're going to need to know, but that's the fault of the filmmakers. Like Lynch, when he made his movie, like he tried to squeeze in way the hell too much, and it got unwieldy, and so a whole bunch of stuff got cut to the point where the movie was all but incomprehensible. And so, unless you know anything at all about Dune, you're not going to understand the Lynch movie. As for the sci-fi miniseries, I mean, they did a better job, but they made Paul such a whiny little bitch. I didn't want to watch him.
Okay.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
people try to accuse Luke Skywalker of being whiny. I challenge those people to try and watch the sci-fi miniseries of Dune.
I never got the impression of Luke being whiny.
Neither did I. That's why I always was when people would say it, they'd be like, "Oh, but I was going into Tashi's spaceship to pick up some powder," and I'm like, "You're the same people who think that Daniel is the bad guy in the Karate Kid, aren't you?"
I am aware of a cartoon remake of the first Star Wars movie where they tried to make Luke look completely incompetent.
Okay, if you say so.
Like there was a scene where, the scene where he uses the grappling hook on the Death Star.
Uh-huh.
Instead of using the grappling hook, he gets himself all tangled up, and it's Leia who has to use it.
Now, is this supposed to be silly, or was it just a weird rewrite?
I think it was supposed to make Leia look more independent and strong.
When was this done?
A few years ago.
Oh, okay. So, right. So it was done with an agenda then.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Now my headset's working.
So it's
Hopefully that
not
goes-
just screwball comedy.
Not that I'm aware of. I only watched clips of it, so I didn't see the whole thing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It would have been nice if Leia had been a bit more badass, but that doesn't mean they have to make Luke incompetent to shore her up. They could have made her better.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. I see that as being sexist to both men and women.
Yeah. It's like, here, let's lower the bar for you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I wondered if that would fix the echo. Yeah, I hadn't plugged my headset in, so we're gonna.
You know, you're only kind of audible on our end, right?
Oh, let me see if I can fix that.
You do sound a bit shallow.
Yeah, kind of tinny.
Okay, how's this?
That's better.
That's better.
Okay, then.
I mean, except for the part where now we can hear you.
Right. Dayagara sota potarata. Whatever that means.
It is too weird to crave, like actually crave ramen noodles.
Oh my.
I just think that's a very strange thing to crave.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe depends on what you're doing with the flavor packet. Are you using it?
Probably. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I find some of the flavor packets just way the hell too strong, or maybe it's just way the hell too salty. I'm not sure. So with those, I'll actually use the broth, eat the noodles, then throw out the broth, because basically I'm using the broth for flavor and the water that it was boiled in just to thin it.
Right.
Right. But if the flavor packet is one I actually find tolerable, I might use it as the basis of a stir fry. You know, cook up the noodles. Meanwhile, whatever meat or vegetables or whatever I'm gonna have, like I'm gonna cook up, or frying in the frying pan, and I threw the flavor packet on top of it.
Okay.
Not a bad idea.
You know, it's. I mean, of course, you do have to throw in a lot of like either oil or water or something just to, make sure that the flavor packet evenly distributes, because otherwise you'll have these clumps of all of a sudden, oh my god, salty.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But other than that, it works pretty well.
Now, what I want to do is I want to make some udon by hand. Because I like udon, and when I made up that supermarket packet a few days ago, I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't all that bad either. So it's.
I think
I'll
I
see what can
mentioned.
do.
I think I mentioned last time. I'm not sure that the Ralph's angel hair and vermicelli are exactly the same.
Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's kind of annoying. Oh well,
Yeah.
but for some reason I keep thinking I meant to buy something when I was out at the store today, and I forgot to, and now I don't know what.
Marijuana.
No, I have some of that.
Okay.
No, I'm thinking it's something else, like oh, I don't know, probably something not foody, like toilet paper or conditioner or I don't know, something.
I'm gonna have to do some grocery shopping tomorrow.
Yeah, same here. It's kind of ran myself out of food. Ate the last of the baking eggs.
I'll probably be having potatoes tonight.
Oh, what are you gonna do with them?
Uh, sort of a twice baked potato Suzette.
Okay.
Just take the potato, you cook it, you scoop it out, so you just have the shell. Mix in some eggs, some paprika, some cheese.
Mm.
Put it back in the shell, bake it again.
Sounds delicious, actually.
Yeah, something my dad taught me how to make.
I actually haven't had like stuffed potato skins in a very, 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 very long time. And actually, it wasn't like a stuffed baked potato skin. It was more like potato skins, where it's like they serve them the same way you might serve fries or garlic bread,
Oh yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
rather not garlic bread, but garlic sticks.
Uh huh.
Those.
I like that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just saying is like it's been a long time, and I'd love to. Maybe I should go hunt up like a tater skins recipe.
Oh, they are out there. Oh yes,
Oh, of course they are.
absolutely.
Of course they are. Of course they are. It's just for me at least. It's not that I don't know which ingredients to use. It's more a matter of I don't know how to cut up those skins the right way. Like I want to
Yeah.
actually find a
Okay.
video of someone wielding the knife so that I can actually cut up the potato skins and then I can stuff them with like I don't know cheese, bacon bits, whatever the fuck I don't know.
I'll put it on my calendar.
I should really put my air dehydrator here to use one of these days.
Mm.
Okay then.
I still remember my parents making dried up fruit with one of those like dehydrator thingies. It was some of the most disgusting food ever. I'm not sure it even qualifies as food. I swear, like, it's hard to tell. When something gets rotten and it's that certain stage of rotten, like a rotten peach or something, where it doesn't quite smell completely decayed, but it definitely doesn't smell right. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay. Yep.
that's the way like a dried apricot or whatever the hell the fig Newton filling crap is. I mean it's just I'm sure it's just ground up fig, but it's the same basic like, oh, I'm not sure this is food and not slime.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to.
I'm not sure if this is something to eat or something to call the CDC about. It's that kind of thing.
I've been wanting to make a wood sorrel tea, but the stuff has about 10 times the oxalic acid as spinach, which is what
Oops.
creates kidney stones.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I've been trying to find ways of reducing the oxalic acid in the sorrel before I use it. And one way I was looking at that might work is to air dry it first. So I watched the study that showed it wasn't they didn't do it with sorrel, but it was two other plants that were high in oxalic acid, and they air dried the plants and it reduced it like 60%.
Okay. I didn't know that that would work. Let me see here. Where is this thing? How to remove?
Usually it's done with simmering it or blanching it, but that's not really an option if I want to use it for tea.
Yeah. There. How to extract oxalic acid from rhubarb leaves. If you want to talk about high in oxalic acid, soak in 40 degrees Celsius water for several days. Add calcium carbonate to form calcium oxalate.
Oh, for crying out loud. It is not time to be fed yet.
Well, I also too kind of wonder if mixing in some of these miracle leaf would work. It's a rather bitter juice. But one thing they have a number of things that they claim that it works for as a medicinal thing. But one thing that has been proven is that it helps keep the oxalic acid from binding to calcium.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that's a big problem, and it can cause problems with the nervous system.
It may not be time to feed the kitties, but Kate was not expecting this stream, and Kate is hungry, so it's time to feed Kate.
Dayu korostu.
I'll be back.
Oh my. Yeah, so this thing over here about the rhubarb, no, that's you're after the oxalic acid, and no, you're after the wood sorrel.
Yeah.
So not quite the same thing.
Because the wood sorrel has a nice, like, almost lemon flavor. It tastes almost like lemonade.
Okay, but it's just full of oxalic acid.
Yeah, it's just full of oxalic acid. And it grows wild here too, so I don't even have to plant it. It just pops up all over the place.
Oh my. Yeah, this I'm not getting anything on this search. Wait.
The cats are giving me some very dirty looks.
You're
I honestly
eating.
thought that they were going to get fed.
Oh no.
You're eating and they're
And
not.
yeah, I mean, they know perfectly well that me getting up does not mean they're getting fed. They know perfectly well that they're only getting fed if I clap twice. And I didn't do it, but they decided to run to the kitchen anyway.
Yeah, I thought they'd screw you up, but I guess it didn't work.
Mm. Also, Xander's a bit of an idiot. I mean,
Now tell me
he
something I
knows
didn't
perfectly
know.
well. He knows perfectly well that the string doesn't always go in the same pattern, but there are ways where, like, I can swing the string and then stop swinging it, but he expects it to go back the other way from whence it came, and it does not. And yet he still chases after where he thinks it's going to be. I guess
I
what I'm
don't
saying is
know.
he's very easy to fake out.
Pattern seeking, yes. I don't know what. What did you say you got?
What?
What did you say you got for tasties?
Food?
Yeah, what kind of food?
Edible food?
Oh, well, that's a good kind of food. Yeah, edible is always good.
Yes.
Food-like substance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I've got to do.
Nutrient paste.
Oh
I mean,
boy.
you remember when, like, in sci-fi, like back when everyone had stars in their eyes about what the future was going to be like, and we kept talking about meals that would come in a pill?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And, that sounded really cool and space agey, but now that I think about it, it also sounds really boring.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't taste like anything. You don't
Well,
get.
that kind of depends on your age. Some people
Well-
basically do have meals and pills.
Well, but you know what I mean. It's like the entire day's nutrients in something you can just swallow like an aspirin.
Where you take enough pills, you think you're having a meal.
I'm just saying is that used to be a thing. Like, also, you remember people used to think that in the future there'd be personal robots everywhere, but they'd walk around with like stiff legs and stiff elbows and all of that.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't think we could keep them stable, so they'd have to have stiff joints.
Yeah, and now you've got these robots that can dance a jig.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of question that Elon Musk robot.
Okay.
Huh? What?
You know what I'm talking about? He had apparently had a robot that went on stage and danced.
Oh, I missed
Haven't
this.
heard about it. mean, I'm thinking of the is it Caltech Robotics that are doing those really funky dog-looking ones?
Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about. Oh, jeez, that thing's agile.
I'm thinking that thing's terrifying.
You want that too? Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure those are the same people who made the robots that were doing the weird dances.
If I can show it real quick,
You know, I wonder. You just reminded me. I wonder whatever happened to that robot that Hitachi designed.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
I'm gonna
but
have to look.
that's the Elon Musk robot,
Not familiar with it.
but it claims to be dancing. Question if that's actually a robot there.
Right, yeah. Here, let me show you something.
Dayokorostu.
All right, stop sharing.
Like, apparently it's Boston Dynamics.
Okay.
Are you seeing this?
I'm not.
Oh, wait, here it goes.
Wait, here
Okay.
it goes.
There you are.
Man, look at that thing stay upright.
Yeah, it's more believable.
See, and there's those fucked up dog looking robots.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, let's kick the robots. That won't start a robot apocalypse.
It kind of reminds me of the oh, why am I blanking on what it's called? From Stranger Things. My brain keeps insisting on saying Crocoduck, but that's not it. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm not
Dart?
sure. Say again?
What's his face? Dustin was keeping one as a pet. He called it D'Artagnan or Dart for short. No?
This is a movie, right?
No, it's a Netflix series. I'm so blanking on what the thing is called.
Oh, I'm even less likely to see a Netflix series than I am a motion picture. Okay.
Demogorgon. It reminds me of the Demogorgon. That's
Oh.
that.
I gotcha.
But anyway, enough of the dancing robots. Just saying.
Moo.
Like, those don't have that sort of C3PO stiff joint problem that everyone was anticipating for a very long time.
Okay, then.
Well, I mean, look at older sci-fi. You know, even sci-fi from like pre-Terminator. Everyone was assuming that robots would move in a very stiff manner.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure that this is the one I thought it was. It's what came up when I did my search. So let's do this thing over here and then do that. Okay, now we can do this.
Okay.
I don't know if you're seeing it or not.
I'm seeing it, but are we supposed to also hear it?
Say again? No, I've
Are
got
we
the sound.
supposed to also hear it?
I've got the sound turned off. I wonder.
Sensors such as surveillance cameras, Emu 3 can locate customers who need support by itself and
Yeah, it's a sales pitch.
I see.
Huh.
So this thing is just sort of like what, a An automatic employee?
Looks like it, yeah.
Tour guide, apparently. Well, okay.
Oh my, and it's got a little pussy hat, so it'll do very well at the Women's March. Oh
Hmm.
my, oh well. We can just go boof and boof and
Hmm.
beef. Yeah, something tells me that what I'm thinking of might be something else, but oh well. I'm not gonna look all day, and now I just remembered, as I said, the pin on one of my earrings broke. So yeah, I've been walking around with one earring all day. I have to put something in that hole so it doesn't close.
That's not going to happen. Not unless it's a new piercing.
Um, no, I'll tell you, with me, for some reason, my holes tend to close rather. I know that sounds strange, but and rather quickly as well. Um,
No comment.
yeah, there
Hmm.
you are. But before the day is over, I'll drive myself crazy trying to put new earrings in and end up in tears.
Do you need any kind of special earrings?
No, the thing is that I have absolutely no coordination. So putting the things, even normal earrings in myself, is absolutely crazy. Drives me nuts. So I've been known to leave ear studs in for months.
Yeah,
And then,
I've kind of gone back and forth about getting a piercing.
yeah, I did for the longest time, and I finally said, "Oh hell, I'm gonna do it," and I have no regrets.
I don't know. For some reason, I can't help thinking about how, like, when I was a kid, it was such a radical thing for a guy to have an earring. And now, like, every guy I know has, like, at least two piercings, if not more.
There you go.
A
Well, I
lot of my
have
friends have done that funky thing where you put the plate in your earlobe, you know?
I have
All
I have no
right.
piercings. I have no tattoos.
Yeah, all I've got is the earrings. I don't have tattoos. Don't want them. Never did. Um, don't want any of the other piercings.
I have
Uh,
considered maybe
I've
putting a
got
Zapdos on my back.
I've got 10 tattoos. My earlobes are pierced. I tried to have an upper ear cartilage piercing once, but it got like super infected. So,
Yeah, that's not good.
you know.
Okay, the Zapdos, that's the triangle and the three dots.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, I do have other tattoos sort of like bouncing around in my head as ideas. I just sort of need the dough.
Yeah, they're a little pricey.
Yelp, Yelp, tattoos are spendy. There's this meme that's been going around lately. It says something like Nor is giving tattoo visits as birthday presents or something,
Okay, okay.
like very pro tattoo gift certificate-y, if that's a way you can say that.
There you go.
It's gift certificate-y. Certificate-y.
Yeah, back in the day.
Certificate-y. But
Meow,
anyway.
meow. Back in the day when the rent rebate was a maximum of $300. There was somebody I knew who every year would take her check down to the tattoo parlor and get another tattoo. And this is
Uh,
somebody who really needed the money for things, like uh, luxuries like food.
hmm.
So I don't know.
Well, there are some people who get kind of addicted to it. And
Yeah, yeah.
then there are other people I know where a friend of theirs is just a budding tattoo artist and needs an empty canvas. It's like, I need to practice my tattoo work. Anything you want?
Oh, there you
Like
go.
seriously, I know people who are just absolutely covered in ink because a friend of theirs was practicing.
I'll take snip, crackle, and pop on my arse. Okay.
Uh, Actually,
Uh,
there's an episode of How I Met Your Mother where they're talking about, like Marshall has special names for Lily's lady parts, and apparently Snap, Crackle, and Pop is it.
okay then.
Yeah, I like that show.
Snap,
Oh
crackle, and
my.
pop. That's what I call my joints.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds about right.
really? Because I just call mine indica or sativa or hybrid.
Yeah, huh, that too. Oh man, but I tell you, just recently I've been getting a lot of crackling going on in the neck there. Um, that just decided to flare up in a big hurry. God damn. I mean, I knew something was going to happen like 30 years ago. So I knew the discs were herniated. But just recently, anytime I move my head, it's a crackle, 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 crackle. Sounds like
Yeah,
old radio.
I gotta get myself some more CBD oil.
Mm.
That seems to help with the inflammation.
It's weird. Like ever since marijuana, cannabis, et cetera, started getting popular, it seems like CBD prices have gone way the hell up because taking CBD has gotten trendy among the same sort of housewives who were taking fen back in the day. You know,
Yeah, okay.
it's because the same ones who started going to yoga only because it was trendy. That kind of
Yeah,
thing.
uh-huh.
It has taken on that sort of holistic kind of new agey thing with the CBD. And so all of the places that sell CBD stuff have decided to jack their prices.
Just.
Well, the place I go to hasn't really changed their prices, at least from last I looked.
Well, what can I say? It seems like, and I mean, maybe part of it is just because the dispensaries around me are basically marijuana boutiques. Like they are just full on stores. There's nothing seedy about them. It's not uh, like it's just like walking into say a perfume store, a high end perfume store kind of vibe to these dispensaries.
I do wish I'd make it legal around here. I imagine marijuana would probably work better than CBD alone.
Little surprised Vermont hasn't done it. I mean, that is going to be one of the difficult parts about moving away is giving up weed for who knows how long.
Yeah, nobody has any plans to push for it or anything.
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't looked into it yet, but I know that it's not like recreational is not legal yet. And believe me, I'm not going to be happy about that. You're probably going to hear at least a little bit of bitching for a while.
Oh
I
my.
would imagine.
But I mean, I'll endure. It's not like I'm addicted or nothing. I mean,
Yeah, you can stop right after the next one.
right. No, seriously though, I mean, like when my dad was going to come visit, I knew that it was probably for the best that I be lucid for that visit. So I actually quit for a couple of weeks before he showed up. So,
Wait
I
a
mean,
minute now.
I guess what I'm saying is that I know that quitting is very, 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 very possible. That they're right, marijuana is not addictive. So, yay.
No, wait a
I mean,
minute, wait a minute.
habit forming maybe, but it's not addicting like chemically.
According to www.visitvermont.com,
Yeah.
adults aged 21 and over can possess up to 1 ounce of cannabis, as well as
Yeah.
two mature and
Okay.
four
Hold on. Hold
immature
on. Hold on.
plants.
Hold on. Slow down. Slow down. It's not legal like it's legal here. They don't have dispensaries. There are limits to what you can and can't have and grow. It's very restrictive in Vermont.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, don't pedantically go, "Oh, it's completely illegal." That's not helping matters. It's. I mean,
I
it's
thought that they had just changed something last week. Okay.
no. My point is, I can't just go get a vape cart like I can here.
Dayo Corosto. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if I want to use vaping. I probably want to go with the tincture or edibles.
Well, those stopped affecting me very quickly. In fact, I've never gotten anything, and I mean anything, from a tincture. And after a while, edibles, it was like I'd have to down an entire tin of gummies to feel a damn thing. It's only the vaping that's worked for me. But of course, I also live in a place. I'm not sure if vaping is okay because this is technically a non smoking building. But because of the non smoking building part, I also have not had a joint. It may be that joints are healthier for you than the vaping. I've been told that. I'm not sure I believe it because I've been told the opposite as well. But at some point, I will probably have to switch to joints in Vermont if I decide to have anything at all.
Well, I have a history of bronchial asthma, so I've gotten bronchitis very easily in the past, and I'm not sure about you know taking in anything into my lungs like that.
I get that.
Now this is interesting. I don't know if this is something you don't already know or if it is something you do know. From WCAX.com,
Channel 3.
um, Dateline 28 April this year. Headline: Vermont legal weed sales likely to be delayed. So it sounds like they're considering it.
What date was that?
28 April this year.
Okay. Yeah. Now I know WCAX very well. That's the CBS affiliate.
Okay, okay.
I know exactly where the building is. Like, seriously, I'm not sure if it's in Burlington or South Burlington, but I know exactly what street to go up to find it.
Okay then.
And I only don't know which one it's in because the line, I have no idea where the hell that line is drawn. I lived there my entire life. I could not tell you from which street to which street. Like, you've crossed over from South Burlington to Burlington or vice versa. Could not tell you. No idea.
Okay then.
But regardless, if someone said, "How do you get to WCAX?" I could take them there.
That sounds like a song I've heard somewhere. Now this is interesting. Another thing I found from Burlington Free Press.
Yes.
Dateline for March this year. The Vermont legislature legalized the sale of recreational marijuana starting this year, but cities and towns each have to vote whether to allow. Let's see. Where did it go? I'm trying to see what they need to vote on. Oh, here we go. There we go. They each have to vote on whether to allow sales in their communities.
Well, I'm sure the Burlington area, South Burlington area, I guarantee you, if anywhere legalizes it, those folks will.
Okay, then.
I have to say the format of day then month really fucks with my ability to know what time of year something happens. Like, for March, all of a sudden when you say 4, I got 12 fours. For what? What? For what? Huh? But if you say March, I'm like, oh, okay. Narrow it down for me. March 4th. Ah, got it. Big to small. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, I get you. I'm starting to see more and more places, though, come up with the day, month, year.
Well, they need to stop it because that's so not working for me. I mean, I don't care which one is bigger or smaller or whatever. What I care about is how easily it is for me to figure out when you're talking about. When have you described using those numbers? And putting the day before the month makes it more difficult.
Well, they could go. They could go year, month, day.
Sure.
Huh?
Sure. No, actually, sure. As long as it helps me triangulate to a specific point in time,
Okay.
then yes, that's the right format.
Okay.
That's the problem I have with for March is that's expanding outward, but then somehow narrowing. It's expanding outward from 12 possibilities, but somehow narrowing to one. It makes no sense.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, because there's 12 fours, like 12 days labeled with four in every year, aren't there? 12 months, right? So
Right.
you
Okay.
say four before you say March, and I'm sitting there going, that could be any point in the year at all because there's 12 of those. And then you say March, and I'm like, okay, well, now I know what part of the year. Now I have to remember which number you said before so I can narrow down which part of March we're in.
Okay then. Yeah. Oh, Brooke, I didn't see you come in. Hi, dear.
So, Columbia, you have
No.
2.5 more minutes before I feed you, baby. 2.5.
Put a
Sandra, you
stopwatch
don't
on
get
it.
to object. Hmm.
Am I hearing kitty complaints?
Yeah, she doesn't want to be picked up. She doesn't really want to be petted. She thinks that if I have her on her lap and I'm petting her and not letting her go away, it means I'm not going to let her eat. And it's not true, but she believes it. And I can't tell her otherwise because she's a cat and she doesn't understand English.
They want you to pay
Oh
attention
man.
to them so they can ignore you.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that
will?
too.
Oh, who's my little baby who's not allowed to leave? Oh.
Well, that's the thing is, I am pretty damned sure that every one of the kitties that has had me has understood English.
Hmm. Well, if Columbia understood English, she'd come running when I would tell her it was food time. When she didn't understand what I was saying, like I used a synonym, like she'd understand grub or chow or any of that, but she doesn't.
Okay.
All right, scram, baby. Jeez.
Well, I will give you that some of the kittinesses had rather limited vocabularies, but they did well enough. I
Oh
know
my
that.
gosh, did you just do that? Sorry, the cats managed to unhook something from the USB port while fighting with each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Speaking about USB ports, I still haven't gotten the one I'm working on my old computer in the back. I've just been slowly transferring stuff off of that computer and probably just try and replace it.
Hmm.
I
After
know that.
after seeing that thing from Purple on
I
Twitter, I'm
was
kind of
just about
wondering.
to bring that up.
Wait,
I'm kind of wondering if
hold
if I bought a
on.
Windows 10.
Context, please. I have not seen this.
Oh, it was about Windows 11. I'm just kind of wondering if I buy a Windows 10 machine, if it's going to force me to update to Windows 11.
Yeah, Windows 11 sucks.
Yeah, I don't want Windows 11.
Well, Macroshaft hasn't given me that much of a hard time with my two 10 machines.
But what I'm thinking about doing is just getting another one of of the other one I have, which is what I'm on right now.
What?
I have a Windows 10 machine I set up as a gaming machine I bought off of Amazon. And the one that's giving me trouble is a Windows 7 machine. That's an older machine.
Oh, well, I mean, hell, I'm using Windows 8.1 and those are giving me trouble. So, I mean, it makes sense that 7 would kind of start being a little fritzy,
That's
Yeah.
interesting. My 7 laptop is not giving me a problem.
Well, I don't know. I think actually I have some motherboard problems, either that or cooling problems, but RAM seems to keep going bad in this machine.
Oops.
Yeah, but fortunately, when I get to Vermont, I'm getting all new computers, so that'll help. Getting all new computers, all new software. It's going to be awesome.
Gonna build them from the ground up, or are you gonna buy pre-built?
Yep,
Okay.
one of those.
Yep. I'd rather
No, I'm
building.
so out of date on hardware that I don't think I could build my own computer at this point. I'd have to basically go back to school and figure out all the shit that's stuff now. Like even the terminology has changed so much that I don't know what the hell people are talking about when they, at least with video cards anyway.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess the video cards are a little confusticating.
Well, there's so many like numbers and letters and acronyms and dashes with numbers after them, and after a while it's like you're not even following any pattern, people. It's not like one digit higher is one better or one newer or one more powerful. How am I supposed to tell what's what from all of these names that all look pretty damn similar but are nevertheless distinct from each other?
Okay, I get it.
It's like, wait a minute, no, you didn't want the XJ12-B. You wanted the XJ12-B, comma 7. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
what, dude. Oh, now it is time to feed the cats. I'll be back.
Oh yay! Kitties get food. And where is little Miss Kitty Ears? Oh, she didn't come running when I went meow. But I remember the first time I realized um, I was not looking at Winston, um, and I was facing away from him, in fact, and I was saying something about Miranda to Miranda, and then I just looked up and I said, referring to Winston, and you, and he looks up, what? So somehow he knew I was talking about him.
Yeah, let's
Smarter
see
than he
here.
looked.
See if I can do this without outing myself. That's the computer I'm looking at getting.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm on right now, and it looks like they've jacked up the price about $100.
Yeah, that makes sense. Quad core. Let's see. 240 gigs. Solid state, 1 terabyte. Okay, I would not be able to run with that little, but I guess for most people it would be good. Windows 10 Pro. Oh, renewed.
Yeah, it's a refurbished thing.
Well, if you're gonna get one, get it damn soon. They say only 2 left.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to if it's only 2 left now. So I have to get the money up first.
Okay then. Yeah, the last machine here, I decided that I was just gonna get all new parts and build for performance rather than price. And considering that I use this thing for broadcasting, I think I did it right. Cost me about twice what the previous machine cost me, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and just wipe this old computer and just reboot it from factory settings. See if that'll work.
It could, yeah. Why not? Just make sure you do it right with the Windows, though.
Yeah.
Because what the hell do you have to do? I think you have to take the key out and then wipe and then reinstall it or some shit like that.
I'm not sure. I do have the discs for it.
They had me go through some kind of garbage because I moved the windows from one machine to the other, and yeah, in order I had to go through a whole ritual.
Oh, yeah, the sheer amount of like, okay, so now we need a 12-step verification system whereby you get a code on your phone, smoke signals, telepathic command from our moon base, and a drop of your blood. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
so am I me yet? No, first you have to prove you're not a robot. Ah, fuck off.
Oh
But I've already,
man.
I've tried uninstalling the USBs, rebooting the machine, updating the USB drivers. That said they're already updated. This won't load the drivers for some reason.
Oh jeez. Okay.
Wait a minute. I missed something in the chat. Catification?
Dale Corosto?
Oh, okay. Never mind. I pictured something a little more taking being an anime cat girl to the next level ish from that.
Uh-huh.
Catifying somehow, but no, it seems to be redecorating a space to be very cat friendly.
Yes. I
That
wish
was not immediately apparent.
I wish I had the space to make it as cat friendly as I'd like. But everything is just all packed tight in here.
I suppose that when the cat guy, it was a catification.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I know what you're
With all the
talking about.
surgeries and
Yep.
tattoos and stuff.
Kind of on the terrifying side.
Wait a minute. Is this the human that wanted to look like a cat?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
And I believe there was also a female woman who wanted to do it too.
All I
I don't
have
know.
to say is why. But oh well.
Well, some people might say that about being trans too, mightn't they?
Many have.
Well, I'm just saying, is like, if someone decides to make themselves into a cat, who am I to say no? It's like I got enough trans friends that I'm like, whatever, I don't care. At this point, just tell me what to call you and leave it at that.
Yeah, that guy did die, unfortunately.
Oh.
Found dead in
Like,
his
seriously, isn't that
garage.
how it should be, though? It's like, just tell me what to call you and, you know? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Brooke. Well, thanks for coming by, and yeah, at least let's see now. It's what do we have here? 1809 hours where you are. Yeah, at least you're not calling it a night at 6 a.m.
I've done that.
Oh, more than once I have.
I kind of miss that, actually.
Huh.
See, the real problem with, like, closing down the nightclub or whatever is that your friends are the ones who get old and kind of abandon you. Then you're just sort of going, well, I still want to have fun, but you guys all went and had families.
Saying here
Yeah.
that the BME Zine founder, it's a body modification, and wrote that the guy's death was a suicide.
Oh. Well,
Okay. Did it leave a note? Any motive indicated?
I don't know. I'm just reading what was on Wiki there.
Because I guess I could kind of see why, but then again, my guess is a little uncharitable.
If it's the guess I have in mind, yeah, it might be considered that. I don't know.
I mean, it's pretty cliche to say, oh, if someone was going to do that to themselves, they had a lot of other problems. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, as you said earlier, you don't know about us trans folk, and I don't either. I second guess myself every day, to tell you the absolute truth.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I feel a lot more confident that trans folk know what the hell they're talking about than I do with the cat dude. I mean,
Okay,
I
yeah,
guess what it comes down to is maybe, and maybe this is a little on the prejudice side, but the species gap thing. You know, like at least trans people are going, okay, up in my head, I'm this. And I'm like, okay, sure. But this guy's going, I'm not the same species. And I'm like, a little less genetically possible,
yeah, huh? Yeah,
you
okay,
know.
yeah,
And I mean, sure, I think people should be allowed to be who and what they are as much as they possibly can without hurting somebody else. But at the same time, you know,
I'd like to
um,
look into that sort of stuff because, okay, I can better understand the whole trans thing because, as you say, you're still human. Um, there are still the structures in the brain that kind of identify you as human. Those remain. But what are you dealing with when you have some person who thinks he's a parrot, and what's going on hardware wise?
well, here's a question I have to wonder. Did that guy really think he was a cat? Or did he really just want to be a cat? Because
Yeah,
I
that's.
mean, like I could see really wishing you were something you're not,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see believing you were the wrong gender with when it comes to your body shape and all of that. But saying to yourself, I should have been born a different species, that
Yeah,
starts to sound a little more like having a fantasy and taking it too far.
yeah, yeah. I can see that.
You
Then
know,
And
you have then you have
it,
those who think they're mythical creatures.
mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of people think I am. I mean, they think that I merely wish I was a girl,
Well,
and
well, if you want to hear my take on this, you just kind of
sure,
using it as an example. I don't think it matters whether you think you're a girl or just or are one, because you still want to be treated in a certain way. You still want to be referred to in a certain way. You still want to present yourself in a certain way, and that's what really matters, I think.
I can see it mattering to someone in a couple of ways. Like I mean, if a trans person wanted to have a check on themselves, like, okay, am I full of shit? You know, if transness was something diagnosable, I could see someone wanting confirmation of the reality of it versus them maybe being insane. Do you see what
oh,
I'm saying?
yes,
I
and
suppose I can see where you're coming from with that.
I have felt that myself. I mean, I have wished that there were a reliable way to diagnose or to rule out.
Then you
And
have and then you have the whole argument of whether gender is synonymous with sex or if it's separate definitions. And personally, I think it makes sense to use them as separate definitions because that leaves us with a definition of what's going on upstairs.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
even if they are exactly the same and completely linked, I think it makes sense to have the definitions because, well, I mean, yeah, like okay, this is thought versus physical structure. Even if thought is a product of physical structure, it's still different. Even
Yeah.
if I can't properly articulate how. I mean, I'm sure there's things other than transness where what's going on inside the head, or like where the thoughts and the physicality are maybe not in line with each other. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time verbalizing this, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
can
Well,
I
let me
can
know. It's
see
here.
ways where the purely psychological needs to be differentiated.
Yeah, and even those who say that the two are synonymous will still acknowledge there's something going on upstairs. It's different.
Yeah.
Oh my, Brooke says she's considering the name Francesca Elani Isabella Santiago Caruso.
Uh-huh.
Kind of reminds me of what's that
Princess
character?
Angelina, Francesca, Louisa. Oh,
Yeah.
how did that go? Princess Louisa Francesca. Fuck. Louisa Francesca Angelina. I don't remember how she did it. Ah, it ended with Banana Fana Bobesca the Third.
I thought there was at the third in there. Oh, boy, moi.
Let's see. Princess Angelina Contessa Louisa Francesca Banana Fana Bobesca the Third. Okay, so I was pretty close, but I just could not get there.
I sometimes wonder if I shouldn't have gone with a pronunciation of Diana, but I'm Diana, so.
Well, I don't know. I have to admit, like with the friends I have who are trans, it does seem like a lot of them pick such grandiose names that it's like it sounds like a drag queen. I hate to say it, but
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
it's like I get it. There's probably a lot of. I mean, I don't know. I think I get it anyway, sorta. Like in many ways, I feel like I had a stunted childhood. And I'm sure a lot of trans people feel that way too, for different reasons, obviously. But there's a lot that was missed. And so, like, I guess, I don't know. I don't know how to articulate this one, but it makes sense to me that someone might pick a name that perhaps would be more at home on a childhood princess.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, what a way to lead into Pride Month. Starts tomorrow.
Uh,
But at least
I
I
don't
did.
know. Sometimes it seems like arbitrary whether something gets a day or a month
It is kind of.
or a week. Sometimes it's just a week.
I wonder, does anything get a fortnight?
Something might have used to, but I haven't heard Fortnite used in any context other than that video game or old literature in I don't know how long.
Okay. Or how about a sesquiday? That would work. Yeah, 36 hours.
Hmm. Okay.
Fortnight period of 2 weeks. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
funny, I was just totally raring to play that game, Fortnite, and I'd gotten like I downloaded a copy of. Don't you hate it when you download a game and you're ready to play, and then the paywall gets mentioned?
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, you made your character awesome. It took you 2 hours because you're very meticulous. Awesome. And now import mommy and daddy's credit card. And it's like, dude, you just wasted so much of my time. And do you really think I'm going to play your game instead of refuse to play it just out of spite?
Oh my. Well, there's something I just learned today.
But,
Minnow says that her birth name is Savage Red Minnow.
uh huh. Yes, I know Savage, Fortnite, different things. But still, people talk about that game a lot. So,
And then, yeah, Fortnite fits in well with that measurement system of furlong Fortnite. What is it?
yeah.
Furlong frickin' Fortnite. There you go.
I don't know about the firkin part. I've always just heard furlongs per fortnight. And if you're taking an entire fortnight to go a furlong, that's just what are you, a turtle?
Hmm.
Actually, oh, did you see this video? There's this video I saw yesterday where someone put a skateboard underneath the turtle, like a mini skateboard, a
I
turtle-sized
saw.
skateboard, and this turtle's is zipping around everywhere. It looked awesome. It made me laugh, probably a bit harder than it ought to have.
Yeah, I was looking for flames to come out of the back of that turtle.
Turtles?
And the best part was that the turtle seemed to be really getting into it. That was
Hmm.
the part I loved. That the turtle seemed to be having the time of his or her life.
Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah. Oh, it was great to see.
Yeah, I always wondered where did Cowabunga come from.
Mm.
Good question.
I seem to vaguely remember looking it up once and not getting a satisfying answer.
You know what
And
I'm
of course,
doing,
my
right?
contrary ass brain keeps turning it into things like Musabunga every now and then.
There you go.
Honestly, there are times I wish I could tell my brain to stop doing that because it's not exactly voluntary. I wish people could understand that one. It's like dad jokes are not made up, they just pop into your head. And they're usually things you shouldn't say, but darn it, you got to get them out anyway.
Okay, then.
Looks like it might have been an Hawaiian in term for surprise or wonder, or at least
That
a
makes sense.
derivative of the Hawaiian term.
Well,
That
this thing
makes
over
sense. I mean,
here.
given how it's used.
Oh, this is definitions from Oxford Languages. Okay, and this thing says first popularized by a character on the U.S. television program Howdy Doody,
Oh,
1947 and 1960. Later became associated with surfing culture, further popularized by use on the U.S. television cartoon program Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yes. Teen Rage Moolah Nitwit Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
I have that whole series.
Oh
Yeah?
my.
Yeah.
Mm.
If I'm going to look for an entire series or something, I think I want to get Outer Limits.
Hmm. The old one or the new one?
The old one.
Never actually watched Outer Limits. Not sure I'd enjoy it very much.
Well,
Never been a
it's.
huge fan of the whole, like, sort of, oh, here's these people that have this thing happen to them, and by the end of it, they're really unhappy about it, kind of stuff. Twilight Zone and Outer Limits. Like,
Yeah,
how did any of those have a happy ending ever?
Some of them, I think.
I think some of them did.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. The whole energy of it just said by the end of this, one of the characters will really wish they'd never been born.
Yeah, most of them ended up with everybody being screwed.
Uh-huh. I'm not into that. I don't enjoy that kind of fiction at all. I mean, I'm surprised I stuck with Black Mirror as long as I did.
Okay. I don't know this one.
Oh, yes, you do. We've mentioned it to you before.
Okay.
It's British. It's very sort of Twilight Zoney in the way
Oh,
it's
yeah, okay. Dayu Korostu.
told you. We told you about it before, but no.
Well, that was another series, is Dayu Korostu, where the characters run around giving scabies to everybody.
What?
No. Oh, I look. Me and my Dayu Korostu, which I thought was nonsense syllables, and I looked it up on Google Translate, and it actually gave me a translation, which was "I give you scabies."
Oh,
I guess only because it looked like words that might mean that. What Dayu is, I give, but
all right.
I have that on. What's the word I'm looking for? on something or other, which means, you know, this girl's a native speaker of Russian, so she told me, yeah, that's what it is. So,
Sure.
we sailed on the Diucorostu. Anyway,
Huh. Well, that supposed to be Sloop John B.
yeah,
That was pretty awful, you know.
yeah, I'm expert at that.
Yeah.
And it's
Ruh-roh.
necessary that I keep in practice.
No, it's not. In fact, I can't emphasize enough just how much it's time to stop.
Oh my. What I have to do is poo-poo songs in 3-part harmony.
No, that's not required in any fashion at all. In fact, I believe the world could survive for all eternity without that ever being brought to fruition.
All right, if you insist, 4-part.
How about no part?
Oh, moo. God, I haven't written close harmony in a very long time.
I'm only able to write far harmony.
That's true.
I'm not sure if I have harmony.
For a while, Spike had harmony.
Hmm.
No one watches Buffy. Okay.
No one watches Buffy, no.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
There was a vampire character named Harmony. She used to be a student at Sunnydale High. I actually don't think that anyone ever killed her. I think she still wanders even after the series was over.
I know they picked up the series in comic book form.
Yeah, you know, the problem with that is that, like, especially, and Joss Whedon is especially bad about this, is when the comic book form starts, all these like characters who maybe like showed up once or twice in the first season all of a sudden show up and they've got powers and this, that, and the other thing. And it just like, it seems like they're pure ass fan service with nothing really original to offer.
Never read the comic.
And Star Wars is getting pretty bad for this too, I hate to say. It's like, oh, hey, remember that one character who had 10 seconds of screen time, if that, in the Cantina scene? Well, they're getting a new series.
Well, take
Well,
care,
that's about all they
Mom.
have.
Yep.
You leaving? Have to get back to work. All right.
Ooh, football.
Dubra.
Your cat wants your attention.
My
I'm
cat
not so
always
sure
wants
if-
my attention.
I'm not too sure if they really should do another season of The Mandalorian. I mean, it was a decent show, but it felt like it wrapped things up pretty well in the last season.
Yeah, well, Disney is going to drive it into the dirt until it stops making money.
Yeah. And again, it's the only thing that's made money so far for them in Star Wars.
I'm sure Rogue One did well despite it being a piece of shit movie.
I'm not sure. I don't know, I found Rogue One to be just kind of meh.
I hated it. It failed on so many levels. I mean, it did not capture the mood of Star Wars. The characters were flat and uninteresting. I didn't give a damn about their deaths. It was just not a good movie. I don't know.
It's sad to say, it's been the best movie they've made so far.
What,
Well,
by
that's
box
a
office
sad
numbers?
statement. That's a very sad statement.
I'm not sure of in box office numbers, but in enjoyment.
Well, okay.
I hated it so much. And I hated The Force Awakens too. And at that point, after Rogue One, I just said, fuck this and stopped trying.
I watched The Last Jedi in theaters, and when I was walking out, I was like, there were flaws. And I've
Mm.
just developed more and more hatred for it as it went on. I tried rewatching it when it was on Netflix, and I just couldn't get past the scene with Luke.
I wouldn't know. I actually, the part I couldn't get past was when Kylo Ren decided to throw that tantrum with his lightsaber in The Force Awakens, where it was like something, I don't even remember what, didn't go his way. And so he starts just
Yeah,
destroying the bridge of a Star Destroyer like a little
little
pansy. I mean,
emo.
and I'm sorry, but Adam Driver is not a pleasant man to look at.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be the type to keep his helmet on.
Yeah, there's something about the guy. It's like hard to call him ugly, but I don't want to look at him any longer than I have to.
Well, they have him half naked in Last Jedi.
Oh, jeepers. I mean, seriously, I'm getting to hate that guy on Shia LaBeouf levels. And of course, because he was in Star Wars, now they have to put him in everything. It's kind of like that Finn Wolfhard kid who was in Stranger Things and Ghostbusters. Like, now they're putting him in everything because he was in some stuff that was popular.
At least the Stranger Things stuff, if I can feel like that.
I don't know. I just, I wish Hollywood could not try to force something on us constantly, like to say, okay, this is the next popular thing, no matter whether anyone likes it or not.
I've thought of how I would change the sequel. I think I would have done the first movie more of Kylo Ren's story more than Rey's. Sort of his
I don't
fall
know.
to the dark side would have been more along those lines.
The thing is, I mean, after Return of the Jedi, I was so done with the Force, just in general. I always cared the most about defeating the Empire, about the rebellion, about the, fight for freedom against an evil galactic empire. That's the part I cared about. And then everyone and their hamster decided that the Skywalker family spat was the important part. And at that point, Star Wars just stopped being what I wanted.
So basically, what I had in mind was, his fall to the dark side and the rise of the First Order. So he would carry that on to the next two movies.
Well, also, I mean, I hate how they threw out the entire expanded universe. I wanted to see the New Republic.
Oh,
You
they
know,
pissed
I
off
wanted to
so
see all
many.
of that, but the fact that the rebellion wasn't won after killing the Emperor and destroying the second Death Star, the fact that the good guys didn't win after that was so much bullshit.
They pissed off so many people by getting rid of the expanded universe.
Well, even just the fact that the good guys didn't win after Return of the Jedi, thus negating the entire point. I mean, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy had no idea what she was doing with Star Wars. She just figured, oh, make CGI laden fluff and that'll be good enough, underestimating the dedication of the fan base.
Well,
And
she was trying to make it into one big agenda.
yeah, well, whatever. It wasn't working, and I don't know. I've just grown so disillusioned with Star Wars ever since it got sold to Disney. Like, I could handle the prequels far better than I can handle what Disney's been doing.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy wanted to basically turn Star Wars into her own personal soapbox.
Well, whether she did or not, she didn't know how, like, she didn't understand Star Wars. Like, even if she
That's
wanted
true.
to do that, like there's a way to do that within the Star Wars universe where it still feels like Star Wars. But she didn't care about that. She didn't realize that the fans have that much of an attachment to it.
Yeah, she did seem to pull the wool over George Lucas's eyes, seeing as she was basically handpicked to take over.
I don't know. It's just so much bullshit. I hate seeing something I love get ruined like that.
I question bringing J.J. Abrams back to finish the series, considering he's not very good at finishing things.
I don't know. The funny part to me is that J.J. Abrams made a really good Star Wars movie called Star Trek. Like, he
Yeah.
made a better Star Wars movie out of Star Trek than he did out of Star Wars.
Which is
How's
kind
that
of,
for irony?
yeah, that's true. Which is why everybody at first thought he'd be a good pick for doing Star Wars.
And then what the hell was he thinking? I mean, it was just not even a good Star Wars movie. It wasn't even a very good movie unto itself, but it was definitely not a good Star Wars movie.
And I guess it'd be a spoiler here, but they basically made the whole thing into the Palpatine show.
Well,
In
I think,
in the end, he basically wins.
yeah. Well, actually, I wouldn't know about that part because I mean, I've only sort of heard secondhand reports of what happens after The Force Awakens, so I don't really know. But the fact that they bring him back at all is just so stupid.
Yeah. Well, basically, again, spoilers here. Rey turns out to be Palpatine's granddaughter or something, and he wanted her to kill him so he could possess her body. And I'm getting pouring rain right now.
This is sounding so stupid.
So he tries to blast her with force lightning after taking out an entire armada with force lightning, and
Ugh,
he reflects it back at him, and instead of just stopping his force lightning, he just lets it go and he dies. And
this
that's how
sounds so fucking stupid.
she defeats him. So at the end, she's on Tatooine in burying Luke and Leia's lightsabers, and she takes Luke's last name Skywalker and calls herself Rey Skywalker, and watches the sunset. So basically, takes everything from Luke,
Ugh.
and that's what I mean. It was the Palpatine show. She was a descendant of him, and she was the one who was left. So he won. And there's actually some question of whether he actually took over her body or not, considering she did defeat him just the way he wanted her to.
That is so stupid.
Yeah, the whole third movie felt like a bunch of clip shows from a video game without the context of playing the game.
Oh, I keep saying that movies today feel like watching other people play video games. It's
This
like the
one-
characters are just there to hold the guns. They're not actually people.
This was so much worse than what you'd probably even be imagining.
Oh. I don't know. It's just I hate it when something I love gets destroyed like this. And the worst part is it didn't even need to happen. You know, it's like it could have been different. And everybody could have won too. Everybody could have gotten what they wanted. It's just, well, I don't know. Rey wasn't even such an interesting character anyway.
Yeah, she was Mary Sue.
And you know, I gotta say, one thing I am really sick and tired of is characters. Like, you know, the first time you're introduced to the protagonist and you find out, oh, they're haunted by their past. Really? Again? Like, every fucking character these days is haunted by their past. Every last one of them. They're all trying to either atone for something or make peace with the fact that everyone under their command died or some other bullshit. You know, the bad guy got away, etc. You know, it's like, why can't anyone just start out as, you know, like the way Luke did, where he had dreams and aspirations, but he didn't have this dark past of shit he'd done or experienced or seen or whatever, you know, that was like making him a brood or whatever. He
Yeah.
didn't have that. He was the starry-eyed young hero who, hadn't yet realized his potential. We don't get that anymore outside of, like, say, Pixar movies.
And they're doing that a lot with Star Trek race recently too, giving everybody this hardship past life they have to deal with.
So sick and tired of that bullshit. I mean, shit, that started in the 90s, like, started becoming beyond common in the 90s, and has not abated since.
Like with Picard, I haven't seen the second season of Picard, but I have heard some of the reviews talking about how in this Picard's or its mother committed suicide, and Picard blamed himself because he was the one who led her out of the room so she could commit suicide or something along those lines.
Ugh. Yeah, well, and of course, I watched the first episode of Strange New Worlds, and naturally, Pike is like, oh, I don't want to go back to command because of this thing that we give tiny snippets of a flashback for the audience to watch, and
And that makes
blah, blah, blah.
no sense whatsoever because he knows up until that point he's basically the undefeatable.
Well, okay,
He,
fine, but,
well,
well,
he knows for the next 10 years there's how things. Basically, he knows his fate. He so for the next 10 years or so until he reaches that fate, he knows things should go well for him.
well, he'll know that things will go well for himself, but not necessarily the people under his command. So he still has something to be cautious about, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if he knows that, whatever. The specifics don't matter. The fact is that they introduced the guy with some dark, broody thing in his past that he has to deal with, so he can be all serious and crap. And I'm like, really, guys, really? And I'd love to see well, kind of the way Kirk was introduced in the J.J. Abrams movies, where he's young and cocky and fresh out of the academy and out to kick ass and take names. I'd like to see that guy rather than the dark, brooding, oh my gosh, I got my crew killed guy.
That's another thing with. I think Anson Mount actually could make a pretty good captain, but if he was just his own character instead of trying to play a character that's already existed.
Okay.
That's the person playing Pike, by the way.
Oh, okay. Oh, and that was actually one thing, before I was saying that I really care a lot about the characters being likable and growing attached to them. The first episode of Strange New Worlds really didn't feel like I got to know basically anybody, really, except for Pike. I mean, they introduced us to a few people, they told us their names, but the only one I really remember at all is Nurse Chapel. Oh, well, and Uhura, who I keep calling New Uhura. And Spock, of course, but like the rest of the bridge crew, like what's her face, who kind of looks like a lesbian, who's at the helm there, or maybe that's tactical, I don't know, but and the one sitting across from her, never got either of their names.
So basically, they're pulling the same crap they pulled with Discovery, where in the second season they had to do a roll call because no one knew anyone's name.
I guess. I don't know. I never, I couldn't get past the first half episode of Discovery, for example.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons of that, and I think I was just hate watching it at the end there. I don't know. I've thought about rewatching this stuff and giving reviews and how I'd change things with it, but I'm not sure if I want to subject myself to that.
Well, kind of surprised they haven't tried to make a whole show about Wesley.
Now you've done it.
I'm not going to be surprised, considering what they've done with season 2 of Picard and bringing him in.
I'm told that happened. I don't have any details other than that.
Yeah, that's another canon-breaking thing.
I mean, I seem to vaguely remember something about when his character departed the series completely, he had been taken away by some dude who was going to turn him into a godlike being or some crap.
Yeah, that's basically what they tried to play it up on. But he did return into Starfleet at some point in the movies too.
Oh. Yeah, I don't really remember a lot about what happened to Wesley Crusher. I was always mildly annoyed they killed off Tasha Yar. I'd liked her. And I know they sort of a little bit brought her back. She had that Romulan daughter and crap, but it's not the same.
Well, that was studio politics, right?
No, well, yes and no. She felt that they weren't giving her character enough to do, and so she was just sort of going through the motions. And I guess they either didn't relent or she just gave them an ultimatum and they said, well, bye bye. I don't know exactly how it went down, but for whatever reason, she ended up leaving the show because she felt like her character was just not really being used for anything other than set dressing.
Mm-hmm,
I
okay.
don't remember the exact details either.
And I mean, I guess I can understand that. If acting is truly your craft and it's less important what role you're playing than to act regardless, I guess I can understand moving on. But I mean, if I was on a sci fi show, I'd probably want to stay as long as they'd have me,
I remember
which
with
is
the
probably why I never went into acting and why I'd rather tell the story than, be in it.
I remember the reason why they killed off Jadzia Dax was because the actress wanted more money and they didn't want to pay her.
Oh. Well, I gather that, like, the actress playing Kess, I mean, I don't know how much you know about what's happened to her since.
Yeah, she went a little nutso.
Yup. And, well, I'm not sure if they got rid of her from Voyager because of that or if that came later. Like, I know she wanted to leave the show because she was, like, allergic to some of the makeup.
I think that came
But
later.
yeah, I really don't know the details of her life, but like I had this mega crush on Kess. Then I see the actress like years later, and she's barely recognizable at all.
I wonder if she's cleaned herself up since then.
I don't know. Of course, what's really funny is I don't know if you watch Farscape, but the chick who plays Chiana is only attractive when she's in the Chiana makeup. I've seen her without it and with like her normal hair, and I wouldn't look at her twice.
Huh.
That's just really strange. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, interestingly enough, I have a card of all the members of from DS9, and it's signed by the girl who played Jadzia.
Hmm. I have to say, I kind of had a crush on her too.
Yeah, a friend of mine got it for me.
Move.
I don't think what I ate was enough, and I think I need more, but I don't know what.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Probably make another stir fry at some point. I should have picked up pescetti sauce.
Yeah, I gotta get more spaghetti sauce as well. Making more pizzas. I make pizzas with it.
Hmm. For a while there, I was making what I was calling pizza paninis, where it was basically just, cheese toast with marinara on it, and maybe some pepperoni or black olives or something, and, some mozzarella, of course. But then, I'd just fry it in a frying pan and press down on it with the spatula a lot. So very sort of, college dorm garage panini, but still.
Yeah, I just take some
Yeah.
garlic bread or garlic toast, put some spaghetti sauce on it, add cheese and toppings, and bake it for about 15 minutes at 350. You
See,
got
I
pizza.
really should get like a toaster oven so I don't have to use the whole oven just to make toast.
I have one that's really nice.
Mm, okay then.
Hmm.
Hey, listen. Well, no, I don't have any garlic. Damn it.
Why not?
Because I hadn't bought any lately. Because
Oh,
I'm a dipshit.
I
I
always keep
only
garlic
have
around.
baby garlic, like nothing fresh.
Mm.
Yeah, I have garlic powder.
And what I could have done, I could have had some toast garlic, a head of garlic, and sprinkle some breadcrumbs over it, and bake it and eat it.
I still have to experiment with growing garlic around here.
Oh, I tell you, it's fun.
It's
I
not
could-
exactly the easiest thing to grow in hot weather.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Never actually grown garlic. I've not well, to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure what's involved in growing anything you intend to eat other than, hey, look, seed, here's ground. Oh, look, water. Now wait. That's everything I know about gardening.
It depends
There
on the
you go.
plant.
Yeah, what I did was planted cloves of garlic in, I think it was mid-autumn, and they sprouted, and then overwintered, and then in the spring, as the snow was melting, the garlic started coming up through it again, and let that mature and pull it out of the ground, and the heads weren't quite as large as the stuff you get in the grocery store, but they weren't too bad. And I had quite a bit I had enough for a season.
Now, wait just a minute here. Grocery store, really? Because when I hear grocery store, my brain goes to, oh, yeah, I went out and bought some Disgustingries.
Okay.
At the Disgustingry store.
Yes, sir.
I have wondered how it got the name grocery.
Well, I mean, grocer, apparently Grocer, grocer was like a plant monger, I guess.
Let's see. No. That's a Y.
I don't know. Have you guys ever monged anything? I certainly haven't.
Oh man,
Nope.
I've tried a couple of times, but didn't get anywhere with it. But
I
yeah,
don't know. Is
monger.
that where Mongolian comes from?
I don't know. Maybe.
Or that bad guy from Flash Gordon, Mong the Merciless.
Mong your beans.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like there was a video game in like the early to mid 90s, I guess, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and every time I see Frank Turek,
Oh God.
yup, that's where my brain goes.
Okay. So it looks like it ultimately comes from medieval Latin grossarius, wholesale.
Did you say evil Latin?
Medieval.
Oh. So evil that's in between. Gotcha.
Yeah. Huh? Mm-hmm. So it seems to look back to wholesaler. Prior to that, grossus, which I guess is coarse as opposed to fine.
Actually, wholesaler is one I've never quite understood. I mean, it just seems to me, yeah, you sell it in bulk to businesses who will then sell it retail, but it doesn't really like the term wholesale does not say that to me just all by itself. I mean, I guess I'm buying the whole thing and not just parts of it. But
I think that's it.
But I mean, it doesn't. I'm just saying that the word all by itself does not say that to me. I feel that context is absolutely required.
Moo. Let's see. Wait a minute. Wholesale.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just seeing what the interwebs is going to throw back at me.
About?
Wholesale.
Oh.
Late Middle English, originally as by wholesale, which means in large quantities.
Well, yeah. As opposed to parts, as in bits. Yeah. See, I'm a smarty pants.
There you go.
My pants are very intelligent.
Moo.
Smart clothes.
Actually, I bet there's clothing with Bluetooth out there. There's got to be. Like
Pretty sure.
there's a lot of those garments now that like have enough LEDs in them to make a message or a picture or something.
Oh God.
This smart clothing
Yeah.
conducts Wi-Fi and can boost battery.
Nice. I mean, I have to admit, wearable tech sounds like a great idea. We just haven't really made very good wearable tech yet. I mean, speaking as someone who has Google Glass and has seen its limitations, well, needless to say, wearable tech has a way to go. But I'm very pro the concept.
Yeah, when I first got my first smartphone, I was kind of disappointed they didn't sell wrist straps for it to wear it on your wrist.
I would love to get there's like apparently these mock-ups of the Pip-Boy from Fallout 4, well, from the Fallout series, that you can stick your cell phone in and like wear a Pip-Boy with your cell phone in it.
Tayo Corosto.
So that sounds like fun to me. I would totally do that. But anyway. But I mean, like I say, yeah, wearable tech sounds like really cool stuff. I just don't know, like, what's out there, what's available. You know, I mean, is there something out there that I don't know about that I'd actually have a lot of fun owning? I had a smartwatch for a while, kind of like one of those Fitbit sort of things, except it was Samsung's version. And I mean, that was neat and all, but it ran out of power so damn quickly.
I thought about getting one of those.
And I mean, honestly, I didn't want the Fitbit functions. I just liked the fact that the screen was interactive.
How about a
But-
wearable? How about a wearable vibrator?
They already have those, or at
Why?
least I'm sure they must.
One you could walk around with all day?
Yes, those exist.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in Seattle, not too far from one of the apartments I had, was a store called Toys in Babeland. Although I think they got sued or something and had to just rename it Babeland, which kind of stunk. But it was the local sex toy shop, and given just how sex positive the goth community has a tendency to be, I heard all about it a lot. And believe me, there's stuff a person can stick up themselves that's meant to be there long term.
All right then.
I'm just saying, I mean, I would never partake of that stuff. It's just plain not my thing. But hey, if you want to steal tampon up your butt, go for it.
I don't know. It kind of scares me. You know, it's what if it decides to stay there? And you really want it out, but it's not moving.
I mean, I suppose that's a danger. But I guess that's like how far do you want to go for whatever it is you're after? I mean, have you ever heard of scarfing?
Doesn't sound familiar. Do I want to know what it is?
It's like some sort of like strangulation play where apparently if you get someone just to the verge of death and then bring them to orgasm, it's apparently like a bajillion times more powerful or something.
Oh,
And so I mean,
yeah.
people have tried to find this. People have tried to go scarfing, and some have managed it, I guess, but a lot have died doing it. It's sort of like eating fugu. You know,
But,
sure, it might taste good, I guess, but the blowfish or jellyfish or whatever the fuck gland in there can kill you. So maybe don't. Is it really that worth it to, but yeah, so people are dumb and they'll try anything. And this is why there's directions on shampoo.
Yeah. Do not drink. No, on both of those counts, I think I'd say no thanks.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, even if the fugu is absolutely delicious, I do know that there is a finite non-zero number of deaths associated with eating this stuff, even when it's prepared by absolute experts.
Yeah.
Didn't David Carradine, he died from autoerotic asphyxiation?
Carradine.
Carradine.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. In a closet. God,
Yeah, well,
what a way to go.
I always
Yeah,
got
really.
a weird vibe off of that guy. There was always something about him that made me think this guy's a little slimy.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I didn't see him in a lot of things, but I saw him in enough to sort of get a sense of who he might be. And my vibe, like my assessment was, this guy's kind of creepy. There's something about him. I can't define it. It's ineffable, but it's there.
I've seen him and his father uh, perform together, and I would never associate one with the other.
I don't actually know who his father is.
John Carradine.
Wait, then which Carradine were we just talking about?
I thought we were talking about David.
Oh,
The Kung
maybe
Fu
I'm
Carradine.
mixing up John and David because the only child I can think of is Keith.
Okay. Keith, is that David's son?
I think
Which
so.
one was the dude from Kung Fu?
David.
David.
His son.
Okay. Yeah, because John Carradine, David's father, showed up on Kung Fu a couple of times.
That's
But
why I've only seen clips of Kung Fu. You know, enough to understand the whole patience grasshopper nonsense.
I only have vague memories of that show. My dad used to watch it when I was really little.
That's the kind of show my dad would never, ever, ever have even thought of watching. I mean, you know, my hippie peacenik dad.
okay.
I'm just saying. Wow.
Oh my! All right, let's see what we've got here.
And now I've got thunder.
What about lightning?
Very, very frightening.
Ah, you knew where I was going with that. I mean, not that it was difficult to figure it out, but still. I don't know. I'll be honest. The only reason I even like my first encounter with that song was Wayne's World. And I thought it was an interesting novelty. I had no idea it was Queen. I had no idea when it was made, anything. I just knew, oh, hey, whatever this Bohemian Rhapsody thing is, Wayne and Garth are listening to it. And I don't know. I mean, at the time it was a 1990s novelty that, you know, because it gained notoriety then with Wayne's World, but
Yeah.
it's not. I don't know why people put it up on such a pedestal. It's only okay.
That was my first experience with that song as well.
I mean, I just don't. There are some things people put on pedestals that I don't get. Like, I can't empathize with valuing them so.
What are you trying to look at
Oh,
here?
I see what I did wrong.
Like, okay, prime example. Why the hell do people like The Big Lebowski? I thought it was okay. Wasn't that great?
I've actually
You know?
not seen that movie.
I mean, but some people have taken it to such a fandom level that I'm like, explain, please. You know, like there are things where I don't like it, but I get why other people do. You know, or like I didn't enjoy it that much, but I get why other people do. Like Fight Club, for example. I'm not into Fight Club, but I get why some people latched onto it so damn hard,
Well,
right?
they've even turned.
The Big Lebowski, I do not get it. I really don't.
They've even made a whole religion out of it called Dudism.
Yeah, and I don't get it. Like, why? Why? What's the appeal? Like, I mean, I don't even hate it. I just don't get the level of fandom to which some people have taken their, well, fandom.
Okay.
So what are we looking at here?
Oh, that's father and son. On the
Ah.
left is John Carradine, on the right is David. It's on the set of Kung Fu. Well, toward the end.
Yeah, I never actually did watch that show.
Oh, I watched all the way through, and I think I want to do it again. I love that. I love that series.
Mm, I don't know. Trying to think what the other thing was that I watched Carradine in. Because I know I've seen him in something. I think there was like some deal where he and a couple of other folks were trying to break out of Alcatraz or something.
Okay, okay. This would be David.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also had the guy who played Stringfellow Hawk from Airwolf in it. The hell kind of name is Stringfellow anyway?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Stringfellow. Then again, I mean, like, there are some really fucked up names out there. I'm sure that, like, Little Miss speaks German over here will be able to tell us why Wolfgang is such a great name. But I, for one, have no clue.
I forget how that translates.
It's probably a wolf pack thing, a gang of wolves, am I right?
I don't. It's got to be Wolf something, yeah. But
I don't know. It's just the thing that I think of sometimes. But I don't know. You've heard me talk about how weirded out I was the first couple of times I heard the name Deuteronomy.
there you go.
Because I'll be honest, even now, I still think it sounds like a branch of science.
Oh yeah, okay.
Astronomy, anatomy, Deuteronomy,
Okay. Okay then. The name is a
What?
combination of the Old High German words Wolf, meaning wolf,
High
and
German.
Gang, meaning path, journey, or travel. Besides the regular Wolf, the first element also occurs in Old High German as the combining form Olf. Oh, okay.
High German.
So I guess
As opposed to those sober Germans, huh?
Dabojeni. Mm-hmm.
Considering the channel we're on, maybe that should be Mozart instead of Mozart.
Oh yeah, okay, that'll work.
I don't know. I could definitely do with less Zart, to be honest.
There you go. Yeah.
There's too much Zart as it is.
Diukorostu. Oh my, what is all this stuff going? Oh, that film you were wondering about. It looks like it might be Six Against the Rock.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Seem to remember it had a very depressing ending.
Yeah, well, if I remember correctly, almost all of the escapes from Alcatraz have pretty depressing endings. I think there may be a few, one or two people who may have survived.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you get on the other side and die out there, you still escaped.
That's true. Well, okay, here's a question then. Does it count as having escaped from Alcatraz if you never make it to the mainland? I'm going to say no. Because part of why it's an island is to make it hard to escape from it.
Yeah, you do have a point. You do have a point.
So I'm going to say that you don't escape Alcatraz until your feet touch dry land that is not Alcatraz.
Yeah, that makes sense. Since the island is called Alcatraz.
So, it's funny. I never really stopped to think about the origin of that name. It sounds like it could potentially be Native American, but I don't know.
Oh, it was probably named after the owner of a drugstore. Hey, Mr. Catraz, how you doing?
Kind of like how karaoke was invented by karaoke,
Yeah, huh?
or maybe someone named Carrie from Oakland.
There you go.
I don't know.
And then this cat was invented by a couple of other cats I don't know.
Apparently, it's Spanish.
Well,
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
I guess that makes sense. Alcatraz, sure, like Gomez or whatever, and then in the AZ there, yeah, sure, okay, I get it. What does it mean?
I'm not sure. It's damn it. Pelican.
Oh,
Okay.
that seems like a strange. Well, all right then.
The island of the Pelicans.
Hmm.
Anda. Vete mejor de comprar la queso. No, 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 no.
I remember, okay, do you know The Outsiders? That movie, although it was a book first. No.
No,
All right.
I don't think so.
The same author wrote this thing called "Someone is Hiding on Alcatraz Island." It's about this kid who gets chased by some gang members, and the dude tries to escape to Alcatraz, because the guys are chasing him or whatever, and so he gets on the Alcatraz ferry. Then he tries to he decides, okay, these guys are going to be looking for me to leave the island, so I'm going to stay and leave in the morning. As much as it'll stink to stay here overnight, that's what I'm going to have to do. And it turns out that the other guys stayed as well. And so it's this whole harrowing adventure of being at, nighttime, spending the night trapped on Alcatraz Island with some guys who want to kill you.
Boy, that sounds like fun.
It's interesting. It's set against the backdrop of gangs. Because The Outsiders was about a sort of rivalry between the let's say the elite trust fund babies and the lower class folks. And apparently they were all in gangs, and there was this big sort of rumble that ended in a death and a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, the author, she writes a lot about her experiences in, I want to say it was the 60s, I don't know, in sort of the Southwest United States with all the gangs and shit.
That sounds very moo.
That's interesting. Although it's weird, the movie came out in the 80s and it features a lot of 80s actors. And in the 80s groups I'm in, they revere the shit out of this movie. And I'm like, it's good, but not that good. I don't get it. Oh, well. As much as, I think 80s kids have a rapport and a bond, we don't agree on everything.
Okay, then.
But you've heard me go off about how 80s kids seem to be more connected than other generations.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wish I had that empathy helmet so people could understand. Ah, well.
Oh my.
Did Mage fall in or something?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Here.
I'm just saying, it got weirdly quiet. So, I don't know. I'm kind of on the ADHD side, so sometimes I need to be doing other things while we're chatting, and I decided to fuck around with this ultimate epic battle simulator thingy. And so I'm pitting. Well, I mean, I reskinned the Nikola Tesla things to look more like John Wick, but so I've got a bunch of reskinned Nikola Teslas and a bunch of zombies attacking a bunch of Sherman tanks from World War II.
Damn.
And it's funny, the body counts are going down at very disproportional rates, but like the guys that aren't the tanks started with about I don't know, like 200,000 troops versus the 750 Sherman tanks. 750 total, not 750,000. So it's 200,000 foot troops, most of whom are zombies, but otherwise, like these John Wick looking motherfuckers armed with some really powerful lasery things. Well, it's probably electricity, but whatever. And they're still getting pretty slaughtered. There's only 500 of them left, and there's like 666 of those tanks left when there was 750 to start, which means either I need to reduce the number of tanks or way bump up the number of zombies.
Okay.
Oh, wow. It is kind of an epic looking battle, though.
Oh my.
Okay, that's weird. Where the hell's my webcam? It's plugged in. Where'd it go? Ah, there it is. See, the problem is that everything on my desk is black, and it all blends in with each other.
Oops.
Yeah.
That must be kind of fun when you can't sleep and you try to come out and work.
Well, I don't do that, though. If I can't sleep, usually I just take out the Kindle and read.
Okay. Because a lot of times what I'll end up doing is I'll come out here and try to do something, and as packed as this place is, it's hard to get around without tripping over everything.
Well, I do have one, although there's 3 others requested on my wish list of this string of motion-activated LED lights. You're supposed to, like, put them under the bed or something, so when you step down onto the floor, a light turns on. And, thinking about it, the cats will probably have a field day with that shit.
Oh yeah.
That'll be interesting. So that's a way to see where the hell you're going at night. Plus, the gaming desk that I'm going to have for my computers has LEDs built in. And of course, they're programmable. I'm probably going to end up with so many freaking apps on my phone to control these things. I wish everything wasn't controlled by the phone these days. I'd love to have like a PC suite to program that stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
man.
Like just a set of apps on my PC instead.
I do have an emulator for Android called BlueStack 5.
Never heard of it.
It allows you to run Android apps on your computer.
Oh.
It's a little bit slow, but it works.
Well, I don't know. I'll figure something out, I guess. But yeah. All right. I'm going to give them 100,000 of the Tesla guys and 100,000 zombies and 750 Sherman tanks. Let's see what happens this time.
Why don't you throw that army up against 500,000 of those Brazilian Hornets or whatever they are?
Well, because those units don't exist in this game.
No.
Murder Hornets?
Well, okay, keep in mind, this isn't even beta access. This is alpha access, right? So, I mean, a lot of features are kind of janky right now,
Moo.
but it's still workable, very workable.
No, I hate it when a game does like a alpha and beta testing, and the game seems really good by the time they're about ready to release, and then they do a completely different game when they release it.
Yeah, that does suck. Although, given how similar this is to the original, what is it, UEBS, I guess is the acronym, I get the impression that the people making it know what the fans want, and what the fans want is more of what they already got, which is what made this series popular in the first place. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
15 cents. Yep.
They also seem quite willing to listen to criticism and ideas from the users.
That's
Like
good.
That's a
they're
great
actually
thing.
they're actually interacting a fair bit on the Steam boards. So there is something epic though about looking down on a crowd of zombies that are getting just absolutely blown up by Sherman tanks. I wish I could share this screen reliably, but unfortunately, it's running on a machine other than this one. So the best I can do when it comes to sharing my screen is to point a webcam
Mm.
and hope to crap it works, which it's not doing right now. Hello.
Wait a minute. What's this thing doing?
What?
For some reason, I'm getting a.
Ah, there it goes.
Oh, there we go. Okay, okay.
Okay, so you can see these zombies are just getting totally blown up by these tanks.
Okay,
Huh.
then.
Interesting.
Right? But it's that like just horde after horde after horde after horde of freaking zombies. And now you can see the John Wick looking motherfuckers with the Tesla guns.
How many
And
zombies
they're
did
on
you
their way
set?
towards it. In fact, if you look kind of, where is it? Over here, you can sort of a little bit see the flashes of the Tesla guns hitting the tanks now. But yeah, it gets pretty epic over here.
Now, can those tanks fire scatter shot?
They fire one weapon. It's a fairly simple game.
Okay.
But you can see, like, now apparently the way they handle all of these units is somehow they do a lot of the processing on the graphics card rather than the processor. And apparently that makes it just that much faster.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
Like you know, as in they're calculating game stuff, not just the graphics. I look at these bodies just going flying. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what happens when a tank shell hits in this game. So this is like an Egyptian city. You can see the pyramids over here. So, but like you see those sort of beams going off in the distance like that. Those are Teslas fighting Sherman tanks.
Sounds interesting.
It's a fun game. I mean, it's not even really a game. There are like controls, so you can tell like your units go over here, go over there. You know, like if they get stuck on a bit of scenery or something. But for the most part, it's set the parameters and then see what happens. But you also get these like god powers if you want them, because you know, I mean, maybe a battle is starting to get boring or whatever. And so you decide, okay, screw you guys. I'm going to start up with this flood and start splashing water on your asses. And then you can see how the water is just spreading and spreading and spreading. Now, it causes damage, but unfortunately, and maybe they're going to fix this, the water doesn't seem to have much in the way of mass. So, like, it's not going to shove units around. It'll just do damage as it goes by.
Okay, then.
And eventually that giant pillar of water just causes a bunch of ripples and stuff. There's another one. It doesn't work so well from high altitude, but you can just start taking a shotgun to guys. Let me get lower here so you can really see the effects of the shotgun. All right. See, I'm taking. It's easier to see if I get closer. Here
So
we
these
go.
are zombie units?
Most of them are. You can see these Keanu Reeves looking guys going by. Those are the ones with the Tesla guns. But the rest of them, the like sort of albino looking dudes, those are zombies.
Ah,
And I mean, they have various like different units. I mean, there's two different kinds of World War II American soldiers. There's German soldiers. There's 18th century redcoats. There's, let's see, trolls. Last time they had like trolls and elves were available. This is still early access. They say lots of new units are coming. Let's see, there's medieval footmen, archers, catapults, and I swear there's another one, but I can't remember. In the first one, they had cavalry. There were horses, like medieval horses. Let's see, what else do they have? What else do they have? Oh, yeah, there's like Greek times. There's like, oh, why am I blanking here? There were Spartans and, oh, I'm blanking. Whatever they were. And then they also have like some Roman centurions and stuff. Let's see, what else? They also have some sort of absurd things like there's battle ducks. There's a bunch of Chuck Norris models you can send at people. Various things like that. I mean, it's a fun game. It can get silly or it can be taken seriously. And look at all these bodies. Am I right? Like all of that is bodies. You can start to see the blood. Eventually, the blood will start to pool, much the way the water does.
Okay.
So, I mean, and there are gore controls. You can turn off how nasty it is, but still, you can see all of like over here, just the constant shelling. Hell, it probably looks like Ukraine right now, doesn't it?
Just a little
oh
bit.
boy.
That might be in poor taste, but it's also probably true.
Oh, I've
Anyway,
seen some pictures. Yeah, it's not pretty.
yeah. I remember seeing that one guy, he was like in a tank, and the tank got hit by something, a shell, I guess. And the guy jumped out of the tank and ran for it after it hit. And I'm like, okay, number one, that dude's hearing is destroyed. But number two, I mean, regardless, like, he survived that. Yowza.
Yeah, I wonder what percussive injuries he sustained.
So remember I was saying the blood will start to pool eventually,
Oh, yay.
right? So yeah.
And they're
And
driving
I mean,
through it. So it's
if
a lake.
if I use the water, eventually it starts to clear up. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that, right? So thing is, I mean, these columns, these pillars of water, when you let them get high enough and then you let go, they will cause quite the splash. Unfortunately, like I said, the water doesn't have mass. So really all that ripple does is take down a little bit of the red, depending on how close it is. But I'm hoping they improve those physics later. You can see there's this one tank just sort of drove through the water. It is always kind of funny with this game where if you find like some lone little unit lost on some corner of the map, you can decide to just name it and follow its story and see what happens. You know, I mean, it's because otherwise this game is pretty boring. It's just watching a lot of stuff kill a lot of other stuff. And unless you've found some really interesting combo that looks very cinematic, you know, what else can you do but try to role play a little? You know what I mean? Like develop a little affection for that one particular model that seems quite plucky and resourceful. And then when it dies, you can be like, oh,
It's more of
you
a
know, like when a
simulator.
virtual pet dies, right?
Yeah. So it's more of a simulator.
Has Diana fallen asleep? Oh, there she goes.
No. Yep. No, is Jamai on this to looking to making And it's the craziness here and the fugu fishy. It's amazing that there are a dozen places that sell fugu, dozen restaurants in New York alone, in New York City alone.
That doesn't shock me in the least. I mean, if it was like rural Idaho, then I'd be like, oh, that's strange. But New York City, you kidding me?
And then the rest of the country, 7.
Well, actually, no. There's got to be a bunch of them near LA and San Francisco.
One would think.
Those seem like the kind of places where people would want to consume that stuff.
Because, let's see, this list has one in D.C., one in L.A., one in Philadelphia, one in Bethesda, Maryland, one in Seattle, and that's it.
I'm actually a little surprised there's only one in Seattle. It is an Asian port city.
Yeah, the bunny.
I mean, seriously, it's been a while since I've mentioned it, but I would go off occasionally about Uwajimaya, that Asian grocery store. Oh, I love that place. Gonna have to go back there if I have time for it when I go to Seattle. A trip that's coming up a lot quicker than it felt like a few minutes ago.
Well, yeah, you've got maybe, 6 weeks until you're relocating?
Yeah, but the Seattle trip, though, is different. That's actually happening in the middle of June.
Oh, Moof Beef, the next thing I was gonna ask was, are you visiting during the relocation or prior? You were doing it prior.
Well, it's the Fremont Solstice Parade, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I'm moving July 2 end. So
Oh,
there's no way they're going to be the same day. I mean, unless I move really, really slowly, there's definitely going to be a gap between the Solstice Parade and moving. I mean, I don't know when or even if I'll ever get back to Seattle. It seems like the place has changed a great deal, and a lot of my friends have moved away, and a lot of the stuff I loved is just gone now. Sometimes because of the pandemic, but also because of just rampant gentrification, right?
Yeah,
so, I don't know if I'll ever get back there. So I want to make this Solstice Parade just like really worth it, And even then, apparently there's like a Sounders game and a Mariners game, or maybe it's a Seahawks game. I don't fucking remember. Where like the same day as the Solstice Parade. And so there aren't enough police to do the whole route this year. And so they're actually truncating the parade this year.
Oh, how dare they?
Yeah. So, I mean, not happy about that, but I'm going to try to make this ride really just fucking epic and worth it. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Like maybe I'll just screw the whole getting dressed part after the ride and,
Sure, why not?
I mean, apparently
Seriously.
some people do, but most of them will continue to ride, just not with the parade. I don't know how many people just sort of stroll around among the like booths at the end of the parade or at Gasworks Park or something. Apparently a few. And it's not illegal. Like apparently the indecent exposure laws in Seattle are like it's only indecent if it shocks or endangers or something. And let's face it, if you go to the Fremont Solstice Parade not expecting naked people, and if after the parade goes by you're still wigged out by them, you just don't belong in the city, dude.
Okay.
But like
Right.
you're not a Seattleite if the Fremont Solstice Parade gives you a Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
That's just all there is to it. So, but I'm going to try to make it a really good last hurrah before I leave Seattle potentially for good. Although, to be honest, I thought it was for good the last time when I moved to San Diego. So who the fuck knows? I keep ending up back in Seattle one way or another. Like that time I moved to Santa Cruz and it only lasted 4 months. Came back to Seattle, not Vermont, Seattle.
Okay.
It's becoming a central nexus.
Yep. God, so much of my life would be different if I'd never met Kylie and if she hadn't lived in Seattle and if I hadn't moved out to live with her. So much of my life would be different if that hadn't happened. I mean, to the point where I can't predict what it would have been like.
Well, let's see. I'm guessing that it would have been very boring because you would not have met me.
Yeah, the implication being that it was boring before I met you, and I gotta tell you, boy, howdy, it wasn't. Well, I'm sorry. As much as I'm not goth, I really enjoyed the Seattle goth scene. There was just something about it, and it wasn't boring.
They didn't convert you, though. What happened?
Well, I don't know. I'm too fluffy bunny to be a proper goth. Although then people were like, yeah, well, what about baby goth? What about anime goth? What about this kind of? I'm like, dude, I'm not any of those things. You know, I'm more likely to be like a Cyndi Lauper fan. You know, this is a very different kind of fluffy bunny. Like it's fluffy bunny if they didn't wear pink or black.
Okay.
And I'm not referencing a character when I say fluffy bunny. I just mean, you know, like, I don't know. I've always been less upbeat when it comes to entertainment. You know that.
Yes. You're like a rabbit with cotton balls glued all over it. There you go.
No. Not like that. Gosh, you have no idea who Cyndi Lauper is, do you?
Oh, I know.
Okay, I don't know. Your comparison made it sound like you didn't.
I saw one of her very first television appearances.
I saw her on Mad About You. That's a great show. I like that show.
Okay, then.
Also, it seems like Mage fell in again.
I'm still around. Just looking at this guy going on Twitter.
Oh?
A guy
how do we...
a thing? I don't know.
Yes, some back and forth with Prophet of Zod.
Oh, I think I saw the beginning of that conversation.
Yeah, he's still going.
For all I know, there's a response to my response to it. I've just been, concentrating on the stream and this massive wanton destruction of this video game.
Basically, I was asking, how do we know, that your limited intelligence and senses have led you, to the wrong conclusion about God? That's the great thing. You don't have to depend on my experiences or knowledge. You can seek out Jesus for yourself by just praying and believing first.
Oh.
Please.
Yeah. Well, I'll find absolutely anything if I have to believe in it first.
Yeah.
Like seriously. Okay, if you believe, you'll find. Yeah, but the idea is for me to find even when I don't believe.
I'm just asking you, how do you know it was God?
And the answer?
He hasn't responded back.
Oh. Of course, my go-to would probably have been Witch God, but that's, Well, I mean, let's face it, that usually stops a conversation. Theists do not respond to that. Or if they do, there's only one true God. And of course it's theirs. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, like, you can't get them to engage on that. Even when they're going all Pascal's wager on you, even if you say, dude, this thing falls apart because, like, what about Zeus and Ra and all of those guys? And they're like, yeah, those don't count because ours is the true God. Those are all just false gods or demons or shit. And it's like, so you can't have a conversation with them about that. Well, that's actually... You can't have a conversation with them about why should I believe you? To them, it's always, well, I just have the truth and I'm informing you. I don't have to convince you. I'm just telling you what's so.
Yeah.
I've wondered how the whole conversation would go with my parents, seeing as I kind of went into the whole atheist thing after they died.
Well, I'm gonna guess that it would be pretty one-sided, that conversation.
Yeah, I've wondered. Uh, My dad would be interesting one to have a conversation about that with, seeing as one of the last conversations I had with him, he was asking, "What do I believe about God?" And I just kind of sat there and thought about it, and I don't know. I was still kind of in the agnostic phase of things, not really saying atheist at that point.
Well, there is a way of looking at apologetics and proselytizing and stuff that honestly I wish I could get other atheists to adopt, because I think it's it's a way of getting theists to have to confront some of the problems that they have with like proving their shit. Because I mean, let's face it, if you say prove it, it usually makes the conversation get pretty destroyed. So the way I've been trying to put it to theists is, you are God's PR team, you are God's salesman. Sell me your product, tell me why I should buy it, and convince me, not yourself. And then I point out, well, I'm not able to examine the product. The price is awfully high. And I just have no confidence in your sales pitch. So you're going to have to do better. And the theists never engage on that, which is why I wish more atheists would start using it so they had no choice.
Yeah.
But that's what it comes down to. These people are God's sales team. They're God's PR team, and their sales pitch stinks. I mean, because when people try to argue with them about, oh, well, this particular bit of taxonomy and this particular thing disproves that particular blah, 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 it gets to a point where it's like, you're not even really discussing the issue anymore. Not really. Right now you're just sort of having a trivia contest, a pissing contest through trivia. That's what you're doing right now. But you're not addressing the problem with them making the argument in the first place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an approach I don't see anyone else taking. The just sort of attacking it from a different angle thing. It feels like the atheist community, as much as the theist community, has started treading water.
Well, I will say that, I mean, whenever you engage these people, it's always the same damn thing. So, yeah.
Well, that's why I'm shaking up my own arguments, because it is always the same damn thing, and maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe there should be some variety in the argument. And if they're not going to fucking change, then I have to. I have to be the one who starts making different arguments.
Yeah, what I've seen when the very few people who have done it try to move things, they always rein it back to what they know.
Which I don't do. I have made a habit of sticking like a limpet to the topic I brought up, or to the topic at hand. Maybe they even brought it up. But if they try to distract the issue, if they try to change the topic on me, if they gish gallop and expect me to respond to everything, or even just to a point that wasn't the main, thesis, I stick to the thesis. I don't let them get away with it. I don't address the bad arguments. I don't let them set the agenda at all. I do not give an inch, because, well, then what they're doing is obnoxious, unsportsmanlike. It's dishonest. So I make sure that we stay on topic, no the fuck matter what. And honestly, watching them twist in the wind and be very frustrated and act well, they'll start insulting me when I don't let them drag us off topic. And at that point, I will respond with, I have a canned response for that, is, I like you. You're silly. And that seems to frustrate them all the more.
Oh, man.
I suppose it's possible I take a little too much delight in the pain of others.
I don't know.
Maybe a little.
Maybe.
But, damn it, a lot of them have earned it.
Yeah, I find speaking with creationists to be all over the place. His thing just to get them to say yes or no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my word.
Like the way they twist and turn when their feet are being held to the fire, the gymnastics they do to get out of answering a question. Like they're not even lying; they're just finding evasions constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that.
That's the time when I start employing the stick to the topic strategy.
It's not even that I'm opposed to people saying, if they say yes or no answer and they want to, give more explanation to why they're giving a yes or no or something, like I'm not opposed to that. But
well, I mean, that's the thing is I've seen that tactic employed very dishonestly. Cough, cough, Steve McRae, cough, cough, right? And I mean, like, because one of the streams I was in with him, he was demanding a yes no answer to something. And I kept saying, no, there's nuance. I will not answer yes or no. And then I said, I feel like you're trying to slow walk me to a conclusion, and I'm not letting you. And he was sticking as hard as he could to me giving only a yes no answer.
Yeah, and there are so many times where that monosyllable answer just doesn't make it.
Well, I mean, there are too many times where I'm like, okay, I could answer yes or no and be completely truthful. Or and I could answer yes or no and have that answer misconstrued. So I want to be able to give a more nuanced answer in order that I can't be misquoted. Now, frankly, I think he was counting on being able to misquote me. I think that was his strategy all along. And given how hard he was sticking to me giving only a one-syllable answer, like you say, I really, really believe shenanigans on his part.
Have you ever seen Nate's video to Steve?
Which Nate?
Nate the lawyer?
No.
He takes Steve's own sources and basically throws it back into his face on the whole atheist thing.
What is up with Steve McRae? Anyway, it's like he argues like a right-wing theist, but claims to be not that. And I just like, did he adopt all of their worst tactics or something? Is that just what he did, or what? I mean, like, what's his deal?
I don't know, but I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are other people where I ask the same question. Brett Keane, for example. Or who's that other fucker? Not Shock of God, although him too. Stigma Dane, whatever his name was, Bruce Shepard, that guy. Like, what the hell's his deal?
I don't know that one.
I don't know. Maybe he's too old school for some people. I'm not sure if he's made a video, and I seriously don't know. But I mean, it's just weird. Like, I watch people behave in ways I never would or could, and definitely don't understand. And I wish I did understand enough just to know what the hell is going on in their head.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there are so many times when people misunderstand each other, where we even misunderstand our motives to the point where we say no, 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 no. Like, okay, when I was having that dust up with my parents and I kept saying, look, okay, what if I were to move to Vermont? They thought what if I were to move to Vermont and you two were also to move to Vermont and we all lived in the same house? And I was like, for a good long time, that was the misunderstanding because the language that was being used applied to everything that was being said by everybody. And so we spent months continuing our argument needlessly because of a miscommunication. Because of it was like on one of those levels of someone saying, oh, this and that are fill in the blank without saying which ones this or that actually are. It's like really easy to misconstrue what was meant. And so, well, I hate being misquoted,
Yeah.
It's just well, whatever. I actually forget where I was going with that exactly, but whatever.
Okay, so, oh, okay, Tina took off a while ago.
Oh, by the way, I've been hearing like an update about Hopswatch.
Okay.
First of all, how is that name of his pronounced? Is it Kaj, Kai, it's Kaj, but he's like somewhere near Scandinavia. I think Norway, Denmark. And so, I mean, I don't know how that's pronounced. I'm just going to call him Hopswatch until someone tells me. But apparently, he's getting a lot more lucid. He's able to understand posts like well wishes people have sent to him. Things like that. So it sounds like he's getting better, but apparently whatever cancer caused that tumor is not abating quite as much as perhaps they'd like. I guess they didn't get all of it. I don't know exactly. It wasn't a lot of detail, but so he's perhaps not doing as well as we might prefer, but certainly better than he was.
That's good.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, I don't know him very well, but I was on his show. We've conversed since. He seems like a very nice fellow. And I know how scary brain issues can be. I mean, maybe he has it a bit worse than I do, but even so, I know what it's like when your self starts changing. So far, it's only been my memory, but who the hell knows what's next?
Yeah.
So I understand how scary that can be, and I wish I could do more for the guy because because of that knowledge.
I often wonder how different I'd be, considering he was born and had brain damage from that.
So it's just something that like I said, I heard an update. Sounds like he's getting better. That's weird how sudden this was,
Yeah.
Then again, I mean, my seizures came on pretty suddenly too.
Yeah, cancer can come on pretty sudden. Well, my aunt died from a rather aggressive form of cancer that took her out from a month from diagnosis.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I wonder how many times cancer could have been diagnosed long before it started causing problems. It's like, you hear about these people where it's like, oh yeah, we just diagnosed your cancer and it's in like the final stages, and we only knew because you kept passing out. That kind of thing. It's like, well, it makes me wonder if we'll ever get to a point with medicine that we just do regular screenings and it's no worse than like a blood test or having your blood pressure checked or something, where it's just non-invasive scan for every cancer that's out there and you just get it routinely. I wonder if that's ever a thing.
Well, that was basically the story with my grandmother's. They didn't really notice it until it was like all over her body.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, like screening like that, not in the U.S. Definitely not, because it won't be affordable.
Yeah, but I'm actually right now talking about whether or not it's possible.
Oh, possible? Eventually,
maybe.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Oh, there might be There might be some rare forms of cancer that wouldn't be able to detect.
Well, maybe, but I mean, if someone's like, "Oh yeah, you got this little, thing on your heart or your lung or your liver or whatever," we've spotted it early, which is pretty darn good. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh my! And then there's
Because
this.
yeah, like I say, a lot of things get diagnosed just way the hell too late to do crap about them. And
But yeah,
that's gotta suck. It brings to mind those idiots who went out to COVID parties to try to get immunity just by getting infected. And then like they're on their deathbed going, "I think I made a bit of a boo boo."
Yeah.
And it just strikes me as the same sort of thing, except you didn't do it to yourself. It's like no fault of your own that you ended up with this thing happening to you, but it's like it's that fast.
yeah, I have a friend who hasn't gotten vaccinated, and I've just been getting on them about that every time I see them.
Oh,
Is he
jeez.
anti or just lazy?
I don't know what the story is at this point.
Oh, like, I don't know. I forget who it was telling me that the reason why my second dose and my booster kicked my ass and hurt so much when they were applied, where the first one didn't, is because they weren't given enough time to defrost. Like apparently, you know how they have to be kept at a very low temperature, very cold.
Yeah,
Apparently, if they don't defrost enough, it makes it really harder to get it into the muscle. And it wouldn't shock me if maybe like it defrosting the way it does inside the body maybe affected me too much, and that's why I was so sick. Because seriously, aside from the sore arm, I was not sick at all on my first dose.
I had body aches with them, but that's about the worst of it.
Oh, I have never been more sick in my entire life after the second shot on the booster. I mean, seriously, the only thing missing was sinus issues, but just like weakness for 3 4 days. I mean, honestly, for a long time, I could only make the sound. And just getting up to eat was a Herculean task, whatever. It's just like I was so sick and weak after that booster and the second shot. If I get a second booster at some point, if that ever becomes recommended, I'm gonna tell them make sure this shit's defrosted enough.
There
I
you
think
go.
I think I had a bit of a sore throat from the first one, but I remember being tired with all three.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's funny. Like I finally have a story to tell. The parents are always talking about polio and this, that, and the other thing. They have all these events that happen in their life that happen to everybody. One of those things. And I think that getting the COVID shots and waiting in line for that and the pandemic is really my story. Like
Yeah,
finally I have one of those to tell. Yeah, I remember waiting in line for for the shot and the booster and blah blah. It's like people who lived through World War II or Vietnam or something. They have all those stories. And well, I guess 9/11 counted too, but I wasn't
yeah.
involved in that. Is the thing is like 9/11 was something I saw on the news. COVID was something that happened to me.
No,
You know
interesting.
where I can talk about like what I had to do.
Interestingly, one of my cousins actually said he met the hijackers from 9/11, and before
Really?
they did the whole thing, yeah, he was in. They were in the back seat of his drug dealer's car.
Nah.
Apparently, they were getting a ride back from learning how to fly the planes or something.
Oh. What was he, like an Uber or Lyft driver?
No,
Oh
he
no,
was a
you said something about drug
yeah, he was
dealer.
a drug dealer. He was they were in the back seat. They apparently picked him up to give him a ride.
Huh. So he was kind of a Lyft driver.
I guess they were
But
just hitchhiking or something.
huh. I forget if it was 9/11 or some other plane crash, but I remember hearing about like some people, celebrities, who like missed their flight or decided not to go or whatever, and ended up very not dying because of it.
Okay.
Imagine there's a few of them like that.
I want to say Seth MacFarlane and Rob Lowe, but I think the Seth MacFarlane one could have been just a plane crash and not 9/11. And it feels weird to say just in that context, but
Yeah, well, that is the foo-foo.
yeah, well, I mean, well, I mean, that's one thing is like I watch a lot of shows where it's like medical shows or whatever, House and that sort of thing, where people die and then like in an accident they go to the ER, whatever, they die, but a family member or a friend survives, and then they get survivor guilt. It should have been me, blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting there thinking that would never be me. I don't think I would ever have survivor guilt. I think the most I would feel is, damn it, why did my friend have to die? I miss my friend. I wish they were still alive.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I would never be like, oh, it's my fault I'm alive, unless it really fucking was.
Yeah.
I mean, like, unless I was the one who lit the match that started the fire, metaphorically or whatever.
Kind of wondering about the psychological damage for some of these kids in this school shooting.
Oh,
When
jeepers.
one of them talked, I remember hearing one story. Apparently, one of the kids survived by smearing blood on her from one of her friends,
Yeah.
And then
I
hiding
saw
on
that
the
story.
body.
hiding among
Yeah.
the bodies. And apparently, like the friend that was like on top of her was still alive at the time and died on top of her.
Ugh. Yeah, and apparently there were a bunch of 911 calls from the kids.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's just so sick. Like, I mean, I've never been angry enough at someone to kill. I don't even know, like, have they found a manifesto from this kid?
Yeah, they
Don't know.
have.
Well, they have.
I forget where I was listening, but somebody was reading it.
Well, like, I'm still in the dark on his motivation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's hard to picture him being a member of QAnon or something, but
Yeah, I don't know anything about what this guy was motivated by or anything.
Yeah, what I was hearing was some pretty crazy. He didn't like the Jews.
mm,
A lot of white nationalist sounding stuff going on. But it
which, given his name, sounds weird. I mean, it's like a very Hispanic name.
Yeah.
yeah, it was difficult to pick apart because it was what's the word I'm looking for?
Incoherent.
Wandering, incoherent. That's a good word. Yes.
Hmm. But I mean, was there any sense of like, him saying go QAnon or anything?
I didn't hear any QAnon stuff. I have to look on the what do we got over here?
I mean, because like you remember the alt right playbook where they have that section on how to radicalize a normie, and
Yeah.
it sounds like that could have been him, but not necessarily. And I don't really know anything about, like, enough about his motive to say, oh, yeah, these are the people who, let's just say it, groomed him. And you know what? Darn it, there is a meme I made and put out there that I think deserves to go viral. And basically, what I said was that prayer in school is Christian grooming.
All right. Yeah.
Because it just fucking is.
With the whole grooming thing, I still haven't gotten anyone to give me a good definition of what they mean when they're talking about that.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you can kind of get a pretty good impression of what they're getting at. It's just so much bullshit, I feel icky repeating it.
Yeah, I'm getting an impression of what they're talking about, but I want to hear them say it.
And that is another argument technique I've been using, is just to play dumb enough to get them to say what they actually mean.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Because they have a hard time articulating it in a way that doesn't make them sound really shitty. And they know that.
Yeesh.
What now?
No,
said, "Oh,
just
shit."
no, just them knowing, yeah, how shitty their arguments sound. So they have some knowledge of how bad their position is. Yet they stand by it.
See, the thing is, though, they may not believe that their argument is bad. What they may believe is that the reaction of everybody else is wrong.
Also, I mean, they might not realize it until they actually hear it for themselves, saying it back. Kind of like how something sounds good in your head, but not when you say out loud.
Well, but I mean, I also know there are times I've held opinions about things where I am kind of worried about how they'll be taken by people whose presence in my life I value. It's like, try telling goth friends you really, really hate Tim Burton movies. I dare you. I mean, I haven't actually lost friends from that, but I was worried I would the first time I said it.
Okay,
So,
then.
and try telling like sci-fi fans you really don't like The Fifth Element. I honestly don't understand the appeal of that film. But I mean, like, yeah, so I can understand not wanting to say something to people you're pretty sure will take it badly, but still having the courage of your convictions on it, whatever it is. I understand what that's like, and I can understand it if that's really what they're doing rather than thinking it's horrible. Like maybe they're trying to avoid the conflict that they know will come if they articulate that position. Does that make
I
sense?
guess I can understand that because I've done that sort of thing quite a bit. Happily, I don't have to do that anymore.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
I should probably start getting ready to head out here pretty soon. I still
This
got
is weird.
I still
Go
gotta
on.
get dinner, and I still gotta play with my bird.
Oh, do balacostane,
Pen here.
Petrando. Hey,
I
there you go. You can play bird ball. Toss it in the
actually
air and then whack.
completely didn't know what time it had gotten to be. I just checked and it's fine. I mean, not
Let's
that I have somewhere to be. It's just, at some point I would like to do something else.
let's see. Over at your place, it should be 1908 hours, right?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay, yeah. So, depending on how much you have to do, you may or may not want to start on it.
Well, I don't have anything to do. I just have other things I might want to do, variety. I could play VR poker again. I could fuck around in Google Earth VR again. I could, I don't know, try to get some exercise so I'm in shape for the solstice parade by playing Beat Saber and or Spark again. There's a lot of things I could do like that might be a good idea.
Play basketball with the cats.
Well, they're really bad at it, and 2 against 1. I mean, come on, that's hardly fair.
I could try and take my bird out while I'm still on here, but all you'd hear is squawk, squawk, squawk as he tries to talk over me.
Yeah, and I would insist you keep the camcorder off if you're going to be making squawking sounds when you touch your bird.
Well, he'd be the one making the squawking sounds.
Well, still, I mean, it's kind of like when I was I was in a VR poker room, and this one guy was making these sounds like, yeah, and I'm like, dude, if I hear a flush, I'm leaving. I mean, he was probably stretching, but still.
Marico Padania. Oh my, what do we have going on here? Oh, okay, yeah, nobody's talking or anything.
Oh, I actually I have to use another monitor, and it's a monitor I usually use, and so I'm not keeping up with the chat at all. And for all I know, people have said some quite rude things about me and my character, but I wouldn't know because I don't have that window open.
We had number 6 come in for a second or two, and then number 6 left. So we're still having 5 watching now.
You know, it's weird. Like, I know a bunch of fictional characters and at least 2 meat space real people with the name Six.
Huh.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, is that a reference to? I swear there was a character like on Blossom or something named Six. I forget, but I know perhaps more than my fair share of people with that name.
I have never known a person with the name of 6. I know of a person who was named, I believe it was 17.
Oh. And then, of course, there's 7 of 9, but that's different.
Yaday, corazón no potarada.
And you have
18
no
and
idea what
19.
I'm talking about, do you?
7 of 9, yeah, that was one of the more recent Star Treks.
Okay, fine. Well, I mean, you know, half the time pop culture references are just completely lost on you, so.
And then sometimes you get lucky, yeah.
Isn't that a completely separate issue?
What is?
Sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah, I guess kind of separate in its own way.
7 of 9 was hot, but 6 of 9 was much more fun.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, yeah. It's from the, what was it, Tripping the Rift it was called?
Yeah, I think it was.
I remember when that was just an internet short. I gather it became a TV show, but I never watched it.
I watched some of it. I'm not sure if I watched the entire thing.
Well, I don't know. Actually, 7 of 9 was not really my type. Kess was way more my type, if we're going to limit ourselves to Voyager characters.
Move.
I think it was just the short hair, though, because when she came back to the show and she had longer hair, which I know was a makeup thing, she was like allergic to the latex or something, but like when she came back with the longer hair, and maybe just because it was so wavy, but she was not nearly as attractive to me. I don't know. I just have a short hair, like a pixie cut fetish or a lesbian undercut fetish. I don't know.
Move.
Yeah, depends on the girl for me, depending on short or long hair.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of anyone that like she got short hair, and I said no. And I'm having a hard time. I'm sure I could think of someone specific if I really put my mind to it, but it's not coming to me now. I don't know. I just got to think for that short hair, I guess.
Move.
Like, I remember when Penny on The Big Bang Theory cut her hair. Apparently, a lot of fans rebelled, but when I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, humana. Oh my gosh. Because, like, with the short hair, she was so lickable. Just saying.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a me thing.
I guess so.
I'm sure not exclusively a me thing, but it's still a me thing. Oops.
No, I didn't think Emma Watson looked all that great with the pixie cut.
When was that?
A while back.
I must have missed it.
Oh, so you don't do the Spirit Science thing, huh?
No.
Do you know the Jordan character with the channel called Spirit Science?
Vaguely. We did one of the videos from Spirit Science at movie night. The
Yeah,
most recent.
he went on and on about how Emma Watson is, how the hell did he put it? The vision of Christ on earth or something like that. I don't know.
Really?
I guess he's got a thing for Emma Watson.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, he's a little strange.
I'll be honest, I thought she was terrible as Hermione. I mean, I know we probably shouldn't be. Oh, hello.
There's Emma Watson with
Oh,
pixie cut.
my word.
I figured you like it.
Hello. Okay. What's that one chick's name? Kristen Stewart. She was in that terrible Ghostbusters movie. But I saw a picture of her recently with this like amazingly just haircut, and yeah, just saying. And I know we're not supposed to give J.K. Rowling the time of day, but like I was saying, I think that Emma Watson was just not good as Hermione. I know Hollywood insists on picking attractive people for roles, but Hermione is supposed to be homely as fuck.
Okay.
Like, until I saw the movies, I thought she was supposed to look kind of like Margaret from Dennis the Menace.
Ah,
That's what I pictured in my head, anyway.
No, she's supposed to have fixed her looks somewhat during the books. Like she fixed her teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah, but still. I don't know. I still remember how silly it was when J.K. Rowling tried to retcon Hermione as being black when people quoted the alabaster skin lines. Like, I mean, I don't object to black characters, but remember your own material, lady.
mm-hmm.
I mean, you know me. I don't care about what gets changed. I just care about continuity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if she'd been black all along and she tried to make her white, I'd be just as pissed.
Oh my. I don't know.
I mean, it's so weird to feel icky experiencing the entertainment made by somebody who holds positions you find horrible. Like when I read Ender's Game and then I remember that Orson Scott Card is this nasty right wing Mormon dude. And I'm like, I feel bad reading this, but at the same time, it's really good.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time I read that book. It was one of those things where the book is so interesting you don't fall asleep when you're reading yourself to sleep because it's that interesting. Like I probably fell asleep at 4 a.m. when I just couldn't keep my eyes open reading that book.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, you know. But of course Orson Scott Card is not a nice man, and so I feel a little weird reading this very good book.
Those times of separating the art from the artist.
And I remember Will Wheaton quite recently wrote something about that. And I mean, I got his point, but it doesn't make me feel any less icky. Like I recently deleted those really good metal Viking sea shanties just because the people who made them are skinheads. I thought it was just time, no matter how good the music was, and it wasn't about being a skinhead. It was just Viking songs. It was just time to get rid of them. Wasn't even listening to them anyway. Not anymore. So I deleted the MP3s, no matter how good they were.
I don't know that I've deleted anything that I've downloaded.
Well, like I was saying, I probably should head out here so I can take care of my bird and get something to eat.
Okay, well,
So I'll see you guys later.
be good and have fun and stuff and things.
Yep.
Lots of stuff. And the occasional thing.
And don't get run over.
I'll try not to. Bye.
Night night, honey. Let's see, and I guess what I'll do is just say, for those of you who are still hanging around here, I want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank everybody who's not here.
So I take it we're shutting down then.
Yeah, you sounded like you kind of were thinking about going, right?
Well, a little bit. I mean, I might have some more in like some more energy in me, but I don't know. I mean, like there are other things I could be doing, but I'm not sure I necessarily want to.
There you go.
I'm not sure what I want to do. I mean, I'm not going to work anymore on animation today. I know that much. It's just too late in the day, and I'm frustrated with what I've been working on right now. So, but that leaves various forms of entertainment, of time wasting, and I don't know what form that time wasting should take.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is also, I suppose, if you look at it a certain way, a time waster.
In its own way.
So, what I'm saying is I could continue to do this and it would not interfere with my plans too terribly much.
I am kind of starting to fade.
Fair enough, then.
I don't know if it's obvious or not, but
well, you have been nodding.
Yeah, just a little bit. And I don't know, let's have a look over here.
What? How many people are still left?
Well, not quite 3.5 hours we've been going here.
Oh. How many people are watching, though?
Well, this thing says that 5 are watching, but I don't know if Mage was watching when he was here.
I think Mage left long enough ago that if he's not still watching, then probably he's not counted. Okay, but then again, so given how much it can lag, who knows?
Yeah, the number did not change from him being here and then him leaving.
Well, us having said this means that unless he's being a brat, he'll comment in the chat that he's still here.
That is too into Anto.
But I don't think Mage is that kind of a brat. Stool is, but not Mage.
Yeah, there you are. Oh my. And yeah, if you people don't mind, if you have the wherewithal, if you have the inclination, you want to toss me $1 or $2 on Patreon, that would be much appreciated. Because
also,
yes, dear.
# someone fund Kate's weed habit. Actually, yes. You know what? Don't bother, because I'm going to be leaving a place where I have ready access to it, and that's just, yeah. So it's pointless. Like I'll probably get 1 to 2 more carts before I leave, and that's it. So # don't bother with Kate's weed habit.
I don't know. Can you take a bus into New York?
Sorry, say that again?
Can you take a bus into New York? Get some there and haul it over the state line?
Well, but taking it over the state line is one of those sort of federal crime thingies, and I don't know what you get for that crime, like in terms of a sentence or whatever, but I don't want any of it, so I think I'm going to follow the rules on this one.
Oh,
now, if someone else wants to commit the crime, well, I'm probably still an accomplice if they give it to me if I've asked for it, huh?
Well, receipt of contraband, I think, at the very least.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, is it still receipt of contraband if you don't know it's contraband? What if it's just receipt?
I'm not sure how that works.
Well, it's kind of like my question about, like, is it still breaking and entering if all you do is pick the lock and then relock it and you never went in? That sounds like breaking without entering to me. But is that even a thing? Can you be charged with breaking without entering? I'm sure you can be charged with entering without breaking if the door was unlocked.
Yeah, That's illegal
You
entry.
know, unlawful entry. Yeah, all of that. So can you break without entering, or are they part and parcel? And don't bother looking it up. I've tried.
Oh,
I've
darn it.
even asked, I've asked cops, I've asked lawyers. I seem to vaguely remember getting some answer I didn't quite understand that probably used funky words like jurisprudence. And it didn't really answer the question, but I think the vague impression I got was it's still breaking and entering even if you don't enter. I think. I'm not sure. I like maybe it's a statutory thing where it's like, yeah, you didn't go in, but regardless, it's like one of those things where you're not actually in any way impaired, but because your blood alcohol level was blah, you're still it still counts as a DUI regardless. One of those technical things.
Yeah, huh.
I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and maybe it's time for us to go.
Alrighty, yeah, that might be interesting. And then I'll get a little nap, and you'll get whatever it is you get.
I'm
And
probably gonna fuck around in Google Earth VR for a while.
oh, that sounds like fun.
And of course, I'll have either music or another episode of The Big Bang Theory or something going on in the background. I have found one good thing to be stoned to is Dumb and Dumber. And I recognize the irony, but it's true. The movie itself is actually perfect for getting stoned if you're using indica. I don't know about sativa.
Okay, then. How about what was that Cheech and Chong film where they make a motor vehicle out of weed?
I'll be honest, I've never watched a Cheech and Chong film. I've seen a film with Cheech in it, but I've never watched a Cheech and Chong film. And honestly, I know those are movies about stoners. Doesn't mean they're necessarily good for stoners.
Okay, okay, I can hack that. Yeah.
So, but no, Dumb and Dumber is the best stoner movie I've found yet.
Okay, it sounds like fun.
Still want to get stoned to LA Story, but later. Anyway, no more stalling, eh?
Okay, honey, take care, be good, and
Uh,
I may be on again this week. We'll see what happens.
well, I mean, tomorrow's the regular day, or we could do Thursday, or we could just wait till Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do tomorrow, we can.
Well, I mean, I'm not married to it, but I mean, I'm leaving it up to you because I could do other things. I
That's a
could
mistake.
do that. I don't really have a stake in what's done. So I'm going to leave it up to you. And oh my gosh, Kevin Sorbo's trending again.
Oh no. Now what did he do? Wait a minute. I'm okay.
Anyway, so
I don't see it in my.
I'm gonna go.
Okay,
So
honey.
I'll see you later. Have fun.
Okay. Moo. And then okay, kids. I'll just finish up the bye bye sequence here. You guys be good. Have fun. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see about coming back tomorrow and see what we can do. And until then, thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.